Y254. Imagine.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30 ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kenrelby.
Wagwang, my name is DJ Kuch pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Y254. Imagine.
A very good morning to you. It is the 25th of November, believe it or not. This is the last week of the month. How time flies, but of importance is that we are alive today. And it's going to be a great day, especially because we have a lot packed up for you, lined up for you here on Y in the Morning. You are rightly tuned in. My name is Stephanie Ayeta, and the hashtag we're using today is Y in the Morning. If you thought I'm alone, I am not. Brian Sakwa is not in today. He'll be there tomorrow, but I have been joined by the Banning Dollar.
Good morning, Stephanie. Asante sana.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing this wonderful morning?
I am doing super. I'm actually superb.
Wow, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful year. It's coming to an end. Chris imekuja. At least kule mandazi. And we start budgeting for the Christmas clothes. By the way, in the East they call me Dollar, in the West they call me Banning, but my name is Banning Dollar, Mr. 045. Ama pia unaweza niita Emmanuel King, the king of Nyanza, of course. Yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday. It's actually rainy, weather for two. So hapa ndo unasikia the sweetness of having money, not having to wake up, the sweetness of having a beautiful wife by your side, if you happen to have one. But again, if you happen to wake up with kahawa. But it's a beautiful day, by the way. Namuache stop the femicide cases, by the way, until you have a beautiful wife onto your side. Kuna mtu sahi ameamshwa tu mahali anapikiwa kahawa, kachai. Kuna wenye hata hawajaamka. Women are just a beautiful thing.
You know?
You people are just a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful that, yeah, you know, that it's raining. Nisi na weather for two, but it's beautiful and it's raining. And well, when you're in the house, it's beautiful, but when you're outside, it might not be as beautiful because no one wants it to rain when you're going to work. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a blessing. So what to, you know, the agricultural sector, it's something. So yeah, we thank God for rains. What is your highlight for the weekend?
Niko na shida actually. Why are you not all water? I'm actually all water. The suspect has been rained on. But umeingia hapa, I'm like, Steph, ulinunua gari. Siri ni nini?
I am sorry. Pole.
Ama ni kuishi hapa kwa
Pole,
hostel ya KBC.
pole.
Do they have actually hostel? But I don't think so.
There's no hostel.
Oh, siri ni nini?
Nitafute kando tafadhali.
Tafuta kando. Ama kuna ni drop.
Anyway, how has your weekend been like?
My weekend was awesome. I went to a worship experience, just worshiped God. Indoors. It was beautiful. Nikafua. It was nice.
Umesema weekends ndio siku ya kufua. Kila mtu anasema ni Saturday ndio inaanga siku ya kufua.
Saturday ndio siku ya kufua, but if you have money, you will know weekend ni ya nini.
Okay. So okay. Now my highlights over the weekend was, apart from, I had a good time relaxing, because weekend is for relaxing. I mean, yeah, so I had a good time relaxing and having fun with family. But my highlight in what's happening in Kenya, political scenes and sites and whatever, ni what happened to what's currently happening, and it was in Murang'a where Rigiji had gone. Because I'm wondering, Allah, what's happening? What's happening? Because he went to a church now that Sunday. We also had the current deputy president going to a church, and people were comparing the views. Some people are comparing the views online. People who are watching the deputy president and who were watching the former deputy president. So that was something, because the former deputy president had around 11K at some point, while the current deputy president had around 200 and, I don't know, 80 something.
Wow.
You know, so that was something.
That's something actually.
And then at Murang'a Stadium, where the president, was addressing the people, it was packed, and you wondered, like, you'd think that's the president. It speaks a lot. And what's the deputy president quoted, akasema ati, he said a lot of things, but part of the things he said, let me just get it. And he's one of the people who are trending hapo hivyo online, among many others that are trending. So what he said, let me just get it, to quote him. Why is it just gone when I need it? Just when I need it. So basically, he says that alisema Mlima isiguzwa na
Wakaguza
imeguzwa.
mlima.
Now they're seeing the consequences of their actions.
Touching the mlima,
Yeah, of touching it. And he was basing it on what happened in Murang'a, and the other time in Embu. When the president, the deputy president, all of them were together, the former president. So that was Embu. And then now what happened in Murang'a now, I believe it was when there was a funeral, and then the president and the deputy president had sent their speeches to be read. And while the speech of the deputy president was being read, people started booing,
Wow,
and it had to be cut short. So they gave the family to read it. And even for the president, the governor also just gave it out before reading it out, because he read the room. So that's what's happening. But not just that, pia Moses Kuria alienda kuongea kidogo. Katikati ya kuongea, he was not talking what people wanted to hear, or it didn't make sense. So people now have low intolerance for
anyone
something.
in the government, actually.
Yeah. So wakaanza kuimba wimbo za Golden Bells. And literally, I think that was, if it was me, bwana, I don't know what I would do. Because what are people saying? But this
and you were there busy with your speech, you drafted it the whole night.
And these are your people. I think to make matters worse, because, these are your people. Now you people.
No. Okay, to be honest, the current deputy president is not the Mlima people, is the president's person. The people elected Rigiji, and the difference now comes in between there. They elected him. The Mlima people said, we want tunataka huyu. And but then maybe the principal of the school decided to choose the deputy ye mwenyewe, uni mtu wa principal, si mtu wa wanafunzi.
So
Yeah,
it's different, but even for Moses Kuria, these are his people, yeah. Because
they voted for him.
Yeah.
No, they rooted for him being
he's
a
a
CS.
CS, yeah. You support your people, but it's like people have changed tunes. I think to some extent people are tired or are feeling frustrated. Some people are feeling frustrated, and it's not about, because it's easy to say that Rigiji ni mtu wao because ni mtu wa Murima, but we also see Moses Kuria ni mtu wao, ni mtu wa Murima,
Yeah.
but they have booed him. They kind of halted his speech. So what does that really say? Maybe it's not about wewe ni wa Murima, but it's about wewe being in government because people are feeling frustrated with people
With the government,
in government. And to some extent, just before I throw it to you, I feel like I don't know, like Rigiji has taken advantage of this. Anyone would, it's a good time. So, now he has the kind of sympathy from people. He got that sympathy. And you could, from his speech, alikuwa anasema, I'm the one why I was removed from government. It's because it was not for the Adani deal. I'm the only person who could tell the president the truth. And we don't know all that. That's from Rigiji. You can't really ascertain that that's the case, but even CSS, for things that they wanted to say that are not good, but they could not speak directly to the president, walikuwa wanaambia Rigiji ambie president. So anasema alitolewa kwa sababu he used to speak what people could not speak to the president, and all that. So akasema, now people are seeing the true color of the president. He came in with the church, the Bible, but now people have seen his true colors. So he's really taken that narrative, and I think it's going well for him because you could see the kind of support he is,
Getting from the
attracting
people
to his side. I'm like, you know your game. We did not know your game, brother.
No, but he's actually a beneficiary of being at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. You see, when he was in government, people didn't actually love him that much until the impeachment. That's now when people really loved him. And I was very surprised when his life was threatened. He was almost like, I just want to live my life, tell the president to leave me alone. But right now, suddenly, ever since the church spoke, the Adani deal was over. Again, he has come back. Actually, Nilionata, today he will speak. Today he's expected to speak and say his next plan.
He actually said in January.
Oh, in January. Yeah, in January is set to say his next plan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know maybe, but he was impeached. They can't go back to politics.
So he might not be able to vie for, the political seats, but he can be a kingpin and he can decide who goes. Because what he said, I wish I could get that particular quote, just to quote him. I don't know if you have it. He said he will do what? He will announce the stance of the Mount Kenya, how they will go, who they will vote for. Not exactly who they will vote for, but he will basically say the stance of Mount Kenya. So I'm guessing, what I'm getting from that is that because he has now he's being seen as the kingpin, I believe so, correct me if I'm wrong, just from the kind of responses he's getting. He's popular, he's very popular in Mount Kenya. So he might be at a good position to form a party, because he can form a party, I believe.
But you see, 2027 is quite fun. In Kenya right now, vitu ni mingi.
Ni
He might be
mingi,
trending right now, tomorrow we have forgotten about Rigiji.
No, but if he maintains the same momentum, then he will still have the people. So that's why he's keeping people. I think, I think it's be a part of just PR and whatnot, because ameshapatana na watu ambia January mongoje. So everyone will be waiting.
Atasema nini January?
Itakuwaje? What is the direction and that sort of thing. Yeah, so just seeing on his Twitter handle, some hours ago, he's saying, "Thank you, Muranga people. I appreciate your love." Just thanking the people from Murang'a, and you can see the photos, and whoof, it's a whole crowd. And then the other one says Mount Kenya Festival. The peace concert at Ihura Stadium was a great thriller. So it was a peace concert. And then thank you for your warm welcome. Thank you to the great people of Murang'a, and a great warmth to the organizers. And then someone just still on X says, this is organic crowd welcoming Rigathi in Murang'a. And maybe I can't read the others because I do not have a lawyer.
But
and I don't want to be...
But I believe of all the politicians that I've seen, I stand to be corrected, Rigathi is bringing more of the tribalism vibe, more of the, I'm a Kikuyu, you are this tribe. Yeah, because actually, even up to now, he's still sticking to the Murima. And actually, to be honest, I don't love that about him, because if we continue doing so, and imagine if someone just woke up from Nyanza or from maybe Luo or Kisii and started saying the Nyanza people, then we will go back to where we were in 2007. Yeah, I believe as much as he can be an opposition, like the way Jeremiah Kioni said, he called them together and said that they should come together and form an opposition. Actually even said that people like Matiang'i should come together with Jeremiah Kioni, Akina Gachagua, and form an opposition to make sure that Kenya is taken forward. So I believe that if he really wants to help Kenya and is done with the politics, of course he can't go to office, he should then come join the opposition, join the Akina Jeremiah Kioni, the likes of Opiyo Omtata, and maybe drive Kenya forward. But I believe, again, on the other hand, more of the things that we are going on as a country in past. No, ni kama ile in the Bible they say that our forefathers sinned, we are bearing the iniquities. Like babu zetu walitendanga dhambi, ni sisi tunalipia. In Kenya right now where we are, as much as people loved the Kibaki presidency, that's where everything started. The borrowing of the money, and of course hizo madeni lazima zilipwe. The country needs to run, the country needs more money. Uhuru came in, Uhuru took money. So by the time now President Ruto is coming to office, we have a lot of debts. Yeah, but of course it doesn't justify the high taxes and the Adani deals, because I was very surprised. As Kenyans, we were saying we don't want Adani from way back, way back. But it didn't do anything. But immediately the US found something said that Adani is corrupt. Then Adani was withdrawn from the government, from Kenya. The deals, Ketraco, Airport, JKIA. So it makes me wonder, did he really listen to the bishops, or did he receive a phone call from maybe the white man? is it? And I saw Kenyans being very happy. Is it us, or is it?
I think now, even from what Rigiji himself said, so what Rigiji said during his speech in regards to Adani deal, he said, you see, the president, he advised the president against Adani deal, but he still, because it was, he said it was about corruption and,
But this Rigiji never came. He never came forward.
But now what he's saying is that the president dropped the deal not because it was his will to do so or because of Kenya, but he's saying it's because the founder, CEO, was indicted in the US, and that's why he dropped it. So it would still be on if it were not that he was found guilty.
So meaning we are still colonized by the white man mentally.
In the US. So to a great extent, when you see it, if they have a bad relation in the US, then that affects our relation with
But he said it's a reputable company.
No,
it has done a lot of maendeleo.
That's the thing, until it was
US ikasema no.
US ikasema hapana. So that's also a problem that we see with the government, because now the people were saying it, we had receipts online, but they were still insisting on the same thing. So we are left to wonder how much more do you need as evidence for you to listen to the people and that kind of a thing? Would we need intervention, such kind of intervention that we might not get every other time? And it's not really an intervention. It was just a red flag that was highlighted by a superpower country, so.
And actually, about the red flag, if he really believes that this was the best thing for Ketraco, for Adani, will you mind what people will say? Someone outside the country, if he didn't mind what Kenyans we said, will you mind someone are way outside the country. As much as, yeah, it's a superpower country, but it doesn't mean that the way US is said that the CEO is corrupt. How many countries have wamemaliza the agreements with the Adani deal? None, maybe. Maybe Kenya is the only country that has terminated the contract. I don't know for sure, but why right now? Why right now? If you believe that it's a good thing for Kenyans, why again utoke tu once, yeah, move away once, immediately US says something.
Because honestly, US has a great influence in Kenya, so they might just cut off Kenya on some things, you know, maybe because we are aligned to someone that they are not aligned to, and that's how it works, you know. So because we are careful to maintain a good relationship with US, then we have to follow that. And I've gotten the speech that I was looking for, the exact quotation from Rigiji and what he said about next year. So he was saying, I'm talking to people from all sectors. I'm talking to church leaders, business people, and leaders with brains. This coming January, I will tell Kenyans what we have agreed on and the way forward. There are two things we don't like: betrayal and lies. Next year, the political movement that will come out of Mount Kenya will make the 2002 movement look like a joke. That is Rigathi Gachagua. So he's saying there will be a political movement from Mount Kenya, and it will make the 2002 movement look like a joke. So that's how serious he is about it. So yeah, now we know it's a political movement, and for Mount Kenya, and as you know, you've said, he really brings out the tribal factor. I think, you know, he's used that because that has been consistent in Kenya, you know, using the tribal card. The politicians use that, and you gain popularity and you gain power from your people. So that's what we are trying to move away from, especially the younger generation. But you'd see that the older generation still sing along to the same song. You know. So I don't know. I'm really curious about how 2027 will look like, because now there will be a mix of generations and all that. We will still vote on tribal lines, hopefully not. Or will we vote for people who can actually work? Because actually, people have been tired.
After talking about 2027, I saw people like Matiang'i come in and say that they want Opiyo Mtata, Matiang'i. And talking about Matiang'i, I was a little 50-50. As much as is one of the great people that we have in this country, one of the people who really did some impact in 3 ministries in 10 years.
Yeah.
Ministry of Transport, of Education, in the interior, he really did a lot. But again, he's the same person who alikata court order. Instead of Kunini submitting, there's this person who he took out of the country during his regime.
Who?
He's an opposition. Anaitwaje? Miguna. Yeah. Instead of, there was a court order that Miguna was supposed to be arraigned in court, but instead he flew outside the country. So again, as much as is really someone who is against corruption, who really did a lot, but again is someone, during his time there was extrajudicial killing, during his time, Ndoyo Miguna kukata court order. Again, there is Opiyo Mtata on the other hand. Opiyo Mtata promised that if he get elected as the president, he will take people like the current president to egg. So 2027, something is really cooking, something. Again, there's Rigiji with the Murima people. Yeah, a lot is coming up in 2027, and we never know. Maybe by then, President Ruto would have turned the table, as he said that he is in office for 2.5 years, 2.5 to go. And Rigiji was the problem, so he has brought in some new power. So the remaining 2.5 years, you never know. Maybe by then, the economy in Kenya will be wow. Maybe by then, people will be like, hey, Ruto tena. You never know.
You know, yeah, it's interesting because in politics, a day in politics is 1,000 days, can be like 1,000 days. So you never know when the music changes and you dance to another beat without knowing. So, or, you know, just some tricks here and there, and that's the political game. Yeah, and there are people who have, I think that's why we have political science. So, nkwashanga kitambo, watu wanafanya political science, wanafanya nini? Like, what exactly is it? But now they know the depths of politics, the science of politics, how they, you know, it's interesting. Sisi tunakuanga tu But once you get to know how people sort of get to us scientifically, they know your brain, and they know when they say this, that will sort of evoke your emotions, that will sort of align you to them. And it might be something similar to what we'll be talking about later on how to tell your brand story, because I think even the politicians have it's their brand story that they're telling, but something that resonates with the people. So to some extent, maybe you can get a lot to understand how, they frame stories in a way that it shapes us and we are moved by it. Na tunajipata ala tulivote. Oh, tulivote hivi. Oh, kwa nini tena tulivote? You know, so, but they know what they're doing. Example ni the tribal factor. So, nini wetu, sisi tutafanya, sisi tumefanyiwa, that kind of a thing. We've had that from Murima, we've had that from Nyanza, we've had that from Eastern Kenya, and all that. But anyway, let's take a look at what's happening. Kwanza, before that, Manu, give us your handles once more.
It's burning_dollar.
Burning_dollar. Na hiyo ndo jina yako kwa social media ama you use?
Ni jina yangu kwa social media.
Zote.
Zote, but recently I'm thinking of Mr. 045 and leave the burning dollar.
Why?
Mr. 045, it's the code county for Kisii. And I'm thinking of being the kingpin of Kisii, the next Murima of Kisii. But it's burning_dollar, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sorry. Remember, we are here discussing and you're here.
Thinking of 2027.
Unatuma campaign. Sai umeza campaign mapema. All right, so burning_dollar. It is my personal handle to Stephanie Ayeta, and your channel of importance is Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y in the morning, and we'll be sampling a few of the comments later on. But I want to take you through what People Daily has for us right on the front page before I hand it over to Manu as well. So it reads, the front page, Reggie G, that's Reggie G, says, my beef with Ruto on a Adani deal. And basically this is what we have been talking about since morning. That forms the main story. And then the other one is defiant president vows to continue church donations. Amesema hamutamzuia kutoa sadaka. Sadaka ni ya Mungu na hamutamzuia kutoa sadaka.
Hallelujah.
Saying. So yeah, so President William Ruto yesterday maintained he will continue raising funds for religious organizations days after the Catholic Church rejected and vowed to return his cash donation to our city church. So that's where he was. And still, the front page, hardcore criminals behind spate of murders, robberies, and the others are on Health Planet, and the last one on sports. Beldine Odemba becomes FKF Premier League's second female tactician. Congratulations. So from this particular newspaper, the front page, there's this thing about the hard criminals behind spate of murders and robberies. I'm not sure what this particular paper has to say, and I'll just get to it. Yes. But in relations to that, I was listening in, I think it was a TikToker just the other day, talking of her experience, in the city of Nairobi, and she's she drives her own car. Yeah. So she was coming from Donholm, headed to areas of Buruburu, and how she was explaining it, just close to a bridge, Bridge Doni for people who come from this side, and there was a guy who was coming in a shirt, and the guy had blood. It what looks like blood, just to be careful with what I'm saying. It wasn't blood, but it was something that looked like blood, and he was holding himself, looking at someone who's hurt, and she almost thought the person was drunk for a bit, and then got a bit curious, worried of some sort, and then she slowed down, because this person was coming towards her and all. So when she slowed down, this person threw himself down hapo kwa gari yake, hapo chini, the left side, akaanguka. So he threw himself down. And then he was like, mbona huyu ameanguka? But sasa, she didn't really think, because una contemplate, should I leave the car and check this person out? But something tells you, you know that feeling, itasemanga, kitu iliniambia. Kitu huyo ni Mungu alimwambia. It's usually the Holy Spirit. Yo kitu tunasemanga, it's usually, you know, most times the Holy Spirit guiding us. So for her, she just swerved. Juu hakuwa hata amemgonga or something. So she just swerved, akaendelea, because she was unsure aende, watu zafikiria amemgonga, hit and run. So she wasn't going too fast, akaendelea tu kuenda. And then at the back was a matatu. So the matatu ilikuwa ikaanza kuwasha lights, ile, you know, indicating like stop or something, just a communication. So this lady was like, oh no, this guy think nimegonga mtu. So because she didn't want stories na nini, akaenda akastop kwa the next stage. And when she stopped, the matatu guy came, the driver, akamwambia, we uko na bahati. Like, do you know that that's what they do in this area? So they do that, what they pretend, and then you leave the car, and then it'll either be two things. So they will rob you of your car, mtu ataingia kwa gari aende. Ama she was saying of the scenarios that would happen. Ama utambua umegonga mtu, wakukujia wote, wakuchape. You could even be killed because of that, because they think you've hit someone and you know, okay, not killed, because people will be able to tell if someone is dead or not.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so they can even kill you there because of something you have not done. So you'd see the kind of evil that's happening. And then now, when she went to share the story, akirudi home, akambia the watchman, and the watchman was saying, kumbe wameanza na watu wa gari. They usually do it to you know, pedestrians, watu wanatembea. I don't know, from
and
the
boda
bridge,
people.
they throw you down or something of that sort. So that's insecurity, and you wonder how that's going on in this country and why in the world people would do that. Like, mbona,
You know,
yes, watu wamesota.
You know, in Kenya, it's
Norma,
because
but
of the
why?
high cost of living. People are unemployed.
No, it's
and
not
you see
an
this,
excuse.
like where I come from Kawawendani, so there's Githurai. Githurai it's not kind of a slum, but there's a lot of unemployed people there. So utapata those guys, they will just sit somewhere, they are unemployed. By the end of the day, they don't have anything. Go back to their mabati house somewhere next to a river. They need that, they need to eat, they need food. Au watu watashikana watu wawili watatu, they will go out at night, they will meet you around maybe 1 or 2, there's no one else kwa hiyo barabara. They will take that advantage, they will rob you because of the unemployed. And this is the time that I wonder, the kazi mitani, the hustler nation, the bottom up, where is it? Where is it? Because as much as they are, something that they are doing is not okay, it's very inhuman to rob someone. Until you are robbed, you will feel that pain. I've ever been robbed. Until you are robbed, you will feel that pain. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah,
I mean, terrible.
it's not okay.
So there's no excuse absolutely for robbing people.
Yeah.
When, you know, this creativity that people have, when you come up with some
Quick money.
the deceiving means of conning people or stealing from people, we use that same energy and the same creativity and come up with constructive solutions, innovative solutions, business solutions. You can do that.
Talking
It's
about
possible.
conning people, I saw TikTokers, rich TikTokers, billionaires, they are starting to being found dead suddenly. Mtu ni tajiri, no accident, no disease, you're just found dead somewhere.
Why?
But it's because of this carding. They do carding, they steal from people, they do a lot of, they tell you it's Forex, but
No.
yeah, and they are being found dead. So you should stop, don't love quick money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quick to the grave.
So yeah, let's not love quick money. You've said Forex. Jackie started laughing.
I've not said,
Jackie
not
ni
Forex, but
wahuga.
there is some,
There's some people
wanajificha
who
hapo
hide
ndani. Yeah,
behind Forex.
yeah, and
So-
do a lot of
Yeah.
bad
So
business.
Forex is a legit thing, but
Yeah, Forex is
you
very
need
legit.
to find the legit people who are dealing in Forex. so that you're not
Sorry, Jackie.
so
sorry.
that you're not going. No, you're very much in order. And yeah, so that's what's happening. And on this particular story, on Saturday, detectives arrested Paul Odhiambo, although alias Fazul Muhammad, who had on November 9th been captured on CCTV shooting a 25-year-old. I mean, why? So, so most armed robbers behind the recent killings and robberies have been involved in various similar crimes for long, casting doubt on the ability of security officers to conduct speedy investigations. So, and then now on Saturday that happened. The fatal shooting of Abdirahim Abdullahi Ibrahim was reported on California Police Station. The DCI arrested him in Kiambu slums, and it was later established that the suspect was linked to the fatal shooting of Constable David Mayaka of DCI Makadara in Mihango on August 8th last year. Imagine this person was just on the move from August 8th after shooting an official from DCI. I mean, how crazy is that? And now shooting this young person. It's quite unfortunate what people are doing, and we condemn it to the highest order. May justice be served, and I hope our security will heighten their vigilance, because we do not want this to happen, especially now that we are, campaigning against femicide. We want femicide to end. I saw this story and it was so heart-wrenching. It was so heartbreaking of this particular person who is big in a particular church.
Man of God.
I don't think he's a pastor, but he's those people.
He's among the clergy, the people who sit
he's
next
among
to
the
a
clergy.
pastor.
Hapo kwa hiyo front row, hapo
Wazee
tu
wa kanisa.
mbele. And it comes from a church. It's actually GCM church, because the information is out there. And there was, again, some time back, something controversial about the pastor himself, when he spoke about Vichy.
What's Vichy? Miss Vichy. Nichanue, please.
Vichy.
Wala is Vichy.
Nianzie wapi, guys.
Ama nikuone kando.
Vichy she's the ex was Steve Simple Boy. So that's how.
So it's a person.
My goodness. She's a celebrity, a permanent influencer. I don't know the difference, but she's out there. Mtafute pale Instagram. You'll find it. You'll find her. So alikuwa amemcriticize kidogo, and then now Pretty Vichy came and spoke about it. Akasema, the church, how do you speak against da-da-da? And then they arranged a meeting. Pretty Vichy came with her manager. The pastor came, and then they found a middle ground. I don't know if she was given a job. I can't really remember what happened, but that was that. So ilikuwa online, da-da-da, trending. So now we are seeing someone who's close to the pastor or close to the clergy, someone who sits at the front row, who chopped the fingers of a lady. It is so violent. You can't even fathom, you can't even think how someone would take a knife and start chopping a human being continuously. Like, we condemn it to the highest order. It is evil. In fact, it is satanic.
Demonic.
It is demonic. It is the lowest form of humanity. It is not even humane at all. And to think that this person has even been listening to the words, that not everyone in church is of God. And that's why unaambiwanga ukitafuta bibi ama bwana usifikiri ati mtu wa church. See, saints, you get people who, devils in church, because they have been sent there on a mission. So not everyone in church is of God, and that needs to be clear. But also, you wonder what kind of tolerance the church has for evil, because you wouldn't say that this person just change to all of a sudden, and then akamua, he wants to kill a lady because it has to be a behavior that he's had. And it has to be some tolerance that the church has given him for him to be able to do that. And now he's on the run. I'm just praying that DCI gets the person.
Actually,
You know.
actually, I won't say the church has given him tolerance. I will love to put the blame on this particular man. Maybe JCM is a wonderful church. Maybe the pastor is a really good man. Maybe the rest of the men there, they are good people. But I believe that men should learn to let go. Because I've watched these femicide cases, and most of them is issues of money. Like, for this pastor, the lady wanted to get out of the marriage, wanted some money that he had given to him. That brought the entire issue. So men should learn to let go. Ile ondokea to, like, you did your best for her. She never asked you. Maybe you bought her a car. You started a business for her. At that particular time, you had money. If you decide she wants to go away, let her go. Move on to the next one. Killing her is not an option. Because I've watched those cases, and most of them, they involve people who have money, these rich guys. And it's everything, almost. Okay, not all of them, but almost all of them, money is involved. So don't kill someone because of money. Life is more valuable than money.
Yeah. You can't really, you don't have the power to kill someone. You can vent, you can block that person, you can take away everything that they own, you know, that you've given them, but do not take someone's life, for crying out loud. You end up in jail, your life is completely spoiled at the end of the day, because you will rot in prison if you do not die a terrible death yourself, you know. Because you never know, people have different stories, and you just might not know what kind of mob you might get or what kind of wrath you might get. So let's end femicide, and we have just started the 16 days of campaign of ending gender-based violence, and I know the conversation will be ongoing. Wednesday particularly, they have a conversation around that, but we'll also just keep it going. Let me throw it to you, Manu, to share with us what's happening on your side of the daily.
So on my side of the day today, I have Taifa Leo. Actually, before I get Taifa Leo, there was this parent who went to take the kid from finishing Form 4 with a limo. A very white, luxurious limo, a very long limo. A nice limo, and I was like, wow, people really have money out here, and we are complaining, oh, economy, oh, Ruto. People have money, hiring a limo to just pick your son from Form 4. It's a beautiful thing. I hope the grades will reflect the limo.
You know, we hope so, we hope so. People have different styles. The pocket speaks differently.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. God give us money. The same way He gave you a card. Tuache kunyeshewa.
Yes.
Yeah. So on the Taifa Leo, actually, I just love the Taifa Leo. So their headline is there, Pumzi Hafifu ya Raila 2027. So uko juu kabisa, inaanza na mpango wa ODM kubaki hai Pwani. Magavana Nasri, that's the governor of Mombasa, na Mugaro wakutana kuhusu uchaguzi ujao. And then we have here, katika kurata ya 6, tuko na wakirejelea uchaguzi wa 2007 ambao Raila na Ruto na Mudavadi walishirikiana bila Kalonzo na Mlima Kenya. Wadadisi wasema Ruto atalazimika kutanua mabawa zaidi kisiasa ili kuhifadhi urais 2027. So the people who have done that politics that you said have come up and they have said that in order for Ruto to win in 2027, despite having Baba, having the ODM in his pockets, he has to work hard in order to get the Murima people. It's like the Murima will determine if he will remain in office or not. And maybe his deputy, Abraham, is not doing really well right now. But he will do well by the time 2027 is there. So hapa chini tuko na nitazidi kuchangia kanisa, like you said, Ruto has said, and he gave money in Kericho. And then Mbadi aanza kusaka afua kwa wastaafu. They have started seeking advice from the people who use this docket of Mbadi. Abuni kamati la watu 18 ambao watakuwa wakimpatia mawaidha. And sheria tata dhidi ya IEBC iko njiani. Mswada wa wawakilishwa seneti kuzuia IEBC kupeperusha matokeo moja kwa moja. So it's like they don't want IEBC to be going live moja kwa moja. Like this is what we are continuing counting the votes, iko hivi na hivi. Yeah, so it has been put in Senate according to the Taifa Leo.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, under sports, they have Liverpool. We are very sorry for the Liverpool people. Yeah, huenda ikawa yalikuwa.
Walichapwa ngapi?
It was 4 with, was it Southampton? No, I don't know, but walipigwa 4 that I'm very sure of, and they have been losing.
Ow.
recently, yeah. But they claim we have so many injuries. Oh, sijui nani. Oh, nani.
Well, clearly you're not for Liverpool. Uko timu gani? Ni
At
Arsenal
Chelsea.
ama ni-
Yeah.
Watu wa Chelsea pia wanaongeanga.
Wait, watch out. This is our year.
The year has ended.
Yeah, this is our year. This is our year.
We will see what
Yeah,
you
that's what we have in the Taifa Leo. But
Okay.
yeah, this is our year. And at least una pia Manu wali sana. Which team are you, Steph?
I am usually very neutral.
Very neutral.
Naanga, I switch between Manu and Arsenal from time to time.
Try Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Everything is
I'm
blue.
not
The sky
sure.
is blue.
I'm not quite sure about Chelsea. And I'll just read the last one before
Yeah.
we take a break. Yeah, on People Daily. So it's on Matters Health. So technology partnerships touted as key to cancer care. Kenya recording significant increase in cancer cases with new figures showing more than 29,000 deaths a year. That's quite a huge number. So integrating technology into cancer care will improve outcomes for patients, stakeholders in the health sector. So stakeholders in the health sector have said, and the government is ready to leverage new technological innovations in managing the disease as it seeks to strengthen cancer care and reduce its high burden. So yeah, that's what's happening. And I think this is a great initiative because we have seen technology coming in and it's really doing the most in different sectors. Now to scan for cancer, it's easier. I know that KU, Kenyatta University Hospital, has a particular machine that makes it easy to scan for breast cancer. Is it scanning? I think it's treatment of breast cancer. And, you know, as the technology continues to advance, that it will become easier to diagnose and even treat it so that we do not have an increase in the death cases of cancer. So I believe it's a good
Yeah, that's a
good
beautiful thing. And I believe at least the government is really doing some good things, just that people don't put it out there. So at least, congratulations.
All right.
Yeah, at least the government is doing some good things. As much
Yeah.
as much as we are really suffering and as much as kuna the bad side of it, Pia they are really trying on their end, you know. And maybe before we wrap it up, let me leave you some exact words of Gachagua. I would like to ask President Ruto to take time and read the book of John 8:31. So John 8:31 says that if my people listen to my teachings and do as I have instructed them, so they will be my disciples.
Okay.
I didn't understand the verse.
Why is it directed to the president?
Yeah, it was the
I'm
actual
curious.
words of Mtu wa Mulima. And he
Okay.
said, he advised the president to read John 8:31.
Okay.
And it said, if my people read my word and listen to me, do as I have instructed them, then they will be my disciples.
Okay.
I didn't understand, maybe.
We will leave it to the
Yeah,
president.
it's to the president.
decipher it.
Yeah, and out to you, read the word of God. Yeah, follow his commandments. Yeah, live a God-fearing life. Stop killing people. You will burn in hell.
You're talking to people who have.
People who are the femicide, people who are anything. If you are breaking any of the 10 commandments, God is coming to you. You will burn. You will burn.
So you have decided to leo umeamka na violence. But anyway, thank you very much, Banning Dola, for coming in.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media once again?
It's burning_dollar. Yeah, Mr. 045, the king of Nyanza.
All right, you have said it. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be coming back with another interesting conversation and interview. We're going to talk about how to tell your brand story. So you definitely want to be a part of this conversation. The hashtag, remember, is Why in the Morning at Y254 channel. See you on the other side.
Y254. Imagine.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1 dakika 5 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelby.
Wagwang, my name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi, wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawale tikiza kamongo.
What's up everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most stand-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable, they know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Dealing with the boss. If we break up, yeah, you know that it's your loss.
This week on The Buzz.
Study want me back, you can't touch this.
Liam Neeson is back with another action-packed film titled Absolution.
You're crazy. Can you just walk away?
Abinguma lets us know all about his new album on Creative Corner. We will highlight the life story of Cynthia Erivo.
A bullet in my gun.
Find out what led to the alleged fallout of Oga Obinna and Damo Facebook.
God is in people, but so is the devil.
Be sure to tune in on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for your favorite entertainment show.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all,
refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Y254. Imagine.
Once again, and thank you for staying with us right here on Wine in the Morning. Always a pleasure to have you. So now we have moved to the first conversation of the day, and we're going to discuss a very interesting topic, especially for people who are entrepreneurs out there, but just even you as a person, how to tell your brand story. That's the topic today. And for that, I've been joined by the CEO of Caustic Group. And he has been here before. He goes by the name Kimani Patrick. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you so much for having me today.
Glad to have you again.
Yeah, sure.
It's been a minute.
It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be back so that we can at least build some value together.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And why is this an important topic? Just to start there, for people out there, especially for entrepreneurs.
Yes. To do what?
Why do they need to know about storytelling?
You see, everything begins with a story. I mean, stories are the oldest things that we know of. I mean, we read stories in the Bible. We read storybooks from when we started going to schools. But most importantly, there is always a story behind something. I mean, I can tell you how I came here. I mean, that's a story. I can tell you how I started my business. That's a story. And stories help people to connect well, to be able to understand the cause in which you are up to, whether it's a personal brand, whether it's a business brand, or whatever form of a brand that you have, whether it's a government agency. There's always that story that have led you to where you are, to providing that particular value, particular service, or even a story that made you fail. And it's important to tell that story so that people can be able to connect with you. You know, the most important thing about storytelling is you're able to build trust. You're able to come out as authentic. As long as you're telling an honest story, you come out as authentic. People are able to connect with you deeply and emotionally because they can be able to relate with you, especially if the story you're telling is a story that your stakeholders can be able to relate with, whether it's your employees, whether it's your investors, whether it's your shareholders, the general public, the customers. As long as they can be able to relate with that story, they connect with you most deeply. And that is why you find the people whose stories we identify most with are the ones that we tend to trust more. I don't want to talk anything about politics, and I'm sure Kenyans can be able to relate with what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, yeah, so as you said, so it's the trusted brands, you know, through the stories that they've told, authentic stories, that people are attracted to them better.
Yes.
Now, what is the story, your story as the Caustic Group? What story have you been telling?
Well, you've told many stories because we have quite a number of brands under Caustic. I can tell a story of how I started my business. I can tell a story of how I started the National Business Leadership Awards. I can tell a story of how I started the annual CEO's Breakfast. But the story I can tell that relates most with the conversation that you're having here today is how I moved from building a personal development blog, translating it to a startups magazine, translating it to a senior business leadership magazine, and later all the way helping me to discover myself, helping me to discover about corporate event organizing, and people discovering that I can actually tell their stories, to starting a strategic communications agency exactly 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. So your story tells, you know, the growth that you have had along the journey.
Yes, and that is a story that customers have been able to relate with. This is a story that has been able to help us build trust. This is a story that has helped us to come out as authentic and to help people totally understand where our brand foundations lay. They are able to tell where we are headed, and they can be able to see if these are people who have been able to move these steps. They can also help us to structure our story, to find out story angles in our organization, and be able to tell our own story authentically across all brand touch points.
Okay.
Yes.
What makes a successful brand? Is it a brand that knows how to tell their story? Is there more to it? Is this a crucial part of a brand being successful?
I'll be lying if I say storytelling is the only thing that makes a brand successful. But I mean, building an organization has a lot of things. You have to, you know, come up with a product. You have to come up with the people that are going to build that product, sell that product, tell the story. You also have to come up with the processes that help you to offer service or produce a product and offer it into the market. There's all those integrations. If you have the wrong product, definitely, no matter how good your story is, you'll not be able to succeed in the market.
Okay.
If you have a good product and you have the wrong people, definitely your company will fail. If you have the right people, right product, but the wrong story, or your story is not able to connect with your customers, is not able to connect with your stakeholders, definitely there will be a disconnect, and your brand will not be able to come out as much powerful as it should in the marketplace. And that is why you find there are some products which may not really be the best, I mean, in terms of the value they offer to us, but we identify most with them. I would not want to mention some brand, but I can tell you there's some brands that we prefer because of the stories and the impact they are able to make in people's lives, in the society, and you know, other people who can sell us better products or offer much more value at a lower cost. But the ones that we identify with most, we continue to buy from them. I mean, look at where you buy your data. Look at where you buy your, voice. I mean, the brand may not be offering the best packages, but you still continue to identify with them because you emotionally connected to it. And of course, when you have more to offer also, people want to shop at one place than just hovering around trying to buy different products
because you
from
have
different
it's
vendors.
a one-stop shop.
Exactly.
All right, so it's basically all these things are interconnected, and they're all important to make a brand successful. You have mentioned stakeholders. You know, for others, they might just think with storytelling, it's about what the audience perceive because they're your customers. But people also in your organization, why is it important for them to also identify with your story?
Here's the reason. Today, I run a company that has at least 10 people that we work with. And these are people who have believed the vision of the organization, that is the Calstic Group, because we exist as an organization to help people lead the change, to help organizations to lead the change by telling authentic stories, by emotionally connecting with their stakeholders, by influencing them, by shaping narratives in their industry, and by helping them not only when they shape those narratives, definitely it is going to translate into a good return on investment, whether it's customer engagement, brand loyalty, that translates into more money in the bank for the brands. And the reason the people are important is this. For every step, for every process in your organization, as a business, whether you are a small mama mboga selling vegetables to the people in your neighborhood, and you have employed one person, probably you sell onions, you sell sukuma wiki, you sell, what else comes with mama mbogas? Kitungu and all those things. So you have gotten someone to help you kukatakata. I mean, you see the way you relate with your customers. When you're able to tell this person, I saved 1,000 shillings or I borrowed 500 shillings, and I've been able to grow this business from this place. I bought sukuma wiki for 500 on the first day, and I sold it, and then all the way until now I own a kibanda. And this person, you not only help them to see how far you've come, but you're also able to help them to see that you are a person of progress. You're a person who is moving from one level to the other, and they're able to see how you've been able to relate with the different customers that you serve. They're able to see, you nurture them into terms of how to offer a particular service. When somebody calls, nowadays we don't want to go and wait for our mamboga to cut sukuma wiki or cabbage for us. We give a call and say, this is what you will do for me, I'll come and pick and pay. You are able to train them and be able to tell them, this is how you talk to customers, this is how you prioritize you make their customer experience better. And that is a small business that has only one employee. Now consider an organization like probably Safaricom that has over 5,000 employees, or like Java that has so many different outlets, or a supermarket that has so many outlets. You're able to train them, number one, to help them understand what these brands stand for. Now, when they understand what the brand stands for, what did the founder had in mind? When I started this coffee chain brand, what did I have in mind? Where did I want this brand to go? How have we transformed from just one outlet to probably 50 or 60 outlets? I see nowadays Java is almost everywhere, Art Cafe is almost everywhere. How has that vision transitioned over time? And then you're able, when they're able to capture that, you're also able to show them how exactly they fit into this vision and their role. Because people want to be and work in an organization when they're making contributions. They want to work in an organization where they feel respected, where they feel valued. But most importantly, these are people with ambitions, these are people with dreams, these are people with visions. You need to show them how the vision integrates with that of your organization. You're able to show them exactly how their personal values and the values of the organizations intertwine. There's no disconnect, because there's no way you can work in an organization whose values do not align with yours. Whether you just want to work for money or not, you want to work in an organization where you feel more human, where you feel you're contributing more. So when you people understand that, they're able to be more proactive in whatever departments they are in, whether it's customer service, product development, marketing, finance, and all that, because they're able to feel, this is where I belong, this is our vision, this is my contribution, these are the results that you're helping to drive.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I think I love that. So they need to also understand the story in order to help you achieve the vision that you have for the company.
Yes.
Now, how do you tell your brand story?
Well, number one, it all starts with the brand strategy. I mean, when you sit down and plan to start a business, we are no longer in the 80s and 70s. I mean, those days, you and I were not born, where people used to sit down and come up with a very good, proper business plan on how they will make profit. They don't oversee, they don't plan to make losses and all those things. Of course, nowadays you have to make a plan. It could be 1 page or 2 pages, but you have to ask yourself, what kind of a business do I want to start? I normally say starting a business is totally different from starting a successful business. So if you want to start a business today, you have to ask yourself, what kind of a business do I want to start? Do I want to start a business that only serves this road, which is here, is it Kipande Street, or what is the name of this road?
Yeah, Kipande.
Yeah, Kipande Street or whatever.
Or
Hariduku Road. Let's use Hariduku Road. Do I want to start a business that only serves Hariduku Road or Muindimbingu Street alone or Biashara Street alone? Or do I want to start a business that serves the central business district? Or do I want to start a business that serves the whole country? Or do I want to start a business that will extend regionally, East Africa, or probably the whole African region or the entire world? You decide that at the beginning. And when you decide the kind of business you want to start, that helps you to know the kind of foundation you're going to start. That is why I give people examples. If, for example, somebody wants to start a hardware shop that is focused on serving probably the Kamakis area. I mean, there's a lot of construction going on there. Kamakis is in Ruiru bypass. You want to start a hardware that serves around that locality. And another one wants to start a hardware that wants to go the whole country, like Mudokinju. The brand identity that you build, the brand identity that you conceptualize is totally different when you're starting a business that will serve the local community compared to the one that will serve a whole big nation or the whole region. That is why you find somebody will come and tell you, I need a logo. because they only need a logo to put on their signage. Probably 1,000 people will see it in. Just people in the neighborhood. I mean, it is okay for that person to come and tell you, their budget is 500 or 1,000. But another person wants to start a brand that will serve millions. You can't come to a company like Halstic and we build brand identities and you tell us you want to us to create a logo for you. I'll come and tell you, you don't need a logo, you need a whole visual brand identity. You need a logo, you need the typography guideline, you need the color scheme so that you can be able to know these are our colors. And every branch that we have, we use this specific blue, we use this specific green, we use this specific maroon. You come up with a typography guideline that says this is our font for headlines, this is our font for body text. You need a wonderful website that people can be able to see. It's a website that is interactive, that is responsive, a website that customers can be able to come and be able to get what they're looking for immediately without wasting time. You need to come up with, we'll guide you and tell you, you need to come up with an office, internal communications, and the way your office is designed internally in a way that is identical in every branch or outlet that you have. If probably you are a retail shop, you need to come up with a template for your social media. You need to come up with templates for your business card, letterhead, and all those things that is consistent across. You see, it's totally different. All of you are starting a business. All of you need a brand identity design, but the scope is totally different because your target is different. The same way, the reason it's different, part of it is because your brand touch points are totally different. The person who is starting a local hardware shop, the only brand touch points is at the shop, majorly. You want to come up with a distribution after sale services. If you order 2 bags of cement, we have our own boda guy who will deliver to you. If I'm starting a big hardware, I need to have trucks that will be able to deliver. If you buy cement, 500 bags of cement will be able to transport them for you from here to Kisumu or to Malaba or these other sides of Mombasa or the northern parts of Isiolo and Mandera or the central part of Kenya. You see, it's totally different. The customers, the people that will touch your brand, there's those people who come to interact with you at your outlets. There's people who will be in touch with your brand. When your trucks are delivering goods and services, your goods, sorry, they are branded. If probably at a zebra crossing, your driver does not want pedestrians to cross, they will be able to see this is not a good this is not a good company, because they don't obey traffic rules. You see, it is part of your brand reputation that is being ruined. So you see, your customer touch points and your stakeholders now broadens based on the kind of an organization that you want to build. And that is where now we come to the aspect of brand design, brand storytelling. Which story are you telling? To who? What kind of a brand experience do you want people to have with you? The person who is starting a hardware shop at a local area, the brand touch points are very few. If you print flyers, you only need people just within your area, at your junction, and probably the neighboring shops and all that. And the people who are relating with your brand, your motorbike will not even be branded. So it's only people in the community. But now, when you are a big brand like Naivas, people will reach you, even those who are not your customers, they will reach out on your social media pages because you need to market on social media. They will reach your website and they will see how it is. They will be able to interact with your company cars. They will be able to come to your shop and all those things. They may not be your customers, but they are part of the extended group of stakeholders. You owe them trust. You owe them credibility. You owe them a story. Because you've seen, and Kenyans are very active online. You do something, somebody that has never bought from you, they have an opinion about you.
True.
You see, and you owe them that, because with big success, comes greater responsibility. I mean, you owe the public something. You owe them a story. You
Yeah.
owe them an experience. So that is how it broadens. You need to ask yourself, what are my customers? What are my brand touch points? If you're a big brand, you have, number one, the internal customers. Everything starts at home. The internal customers are your team. Your employees, you have to make sure that they are telling the same story. Not that Stephanie works with me, but when she talks about my company and I talk about my company,
They seem like two different
they are
things.
totally like two different companies. When somebody gets your business card and somebody gets my business card, yes, the company is the same, but they look totally different. We need to train our people to tell the same story, to give the same experience. If you walk to KFC at Kenyatta Avenue today, and in the evening, probably you have a business in Kisumu. You fly to Kisumu or Mombasa and you walk to another KFC. The experience is the same.
That's true.
The food, the chicken you will eat, the fries,
Same quality.
same everything. So how can your business as a small person be the same? It may not be, you may not have different branches, but the way you treat customer A should be the same way you treat customer B. The same set of words that you use, we are now talking about the messaging strategy and your messaging pillars, should be the same. You can't be rude to one customer and another customer you are not, you're very kind, you're very nice, such that when they are talking about you, they feel like, unanunuanga kutoka kwa huyo mtu. You get? You know, it has to be the same. So you start with your team, you train them to have the same brand experience, because even internally they need to have to experience the same. You can't afford to be a business leader whose junior staff members or your employees have a different experience. You know, you are good to maybe the sales team or the marketing team. Okay, some people combine sales and market, but those are totally different departments.
Things. Okay.
Yeah. And the accounts team or employee A has a different experience with the boss because they enjoy a close relationship from the other. No, you have to treat your employees equally. You have to make sure they are all well taken care of, because when they're well taken care of, they will take care of the customers very well. So you move from your employees internally, then your customers. You need to ask yourself, what are the different areas that my customers interact with us? At what point do we owe them a story? We are coming up with a new product. We need probably to launch. I mean, it's something they need to know. You need to tell them that story. It could be through the media, it could be through brand activations, it could be through, you know, your website, your social media, it could be, there's the brand activations are close, maybe malls or retail outlets, that is if you are an FMCG, and all those kind of things, making sure that whatever information your customer needs gets it. Number one, the right message to the right people at the right time using the right media. I've seen so many organizations make this mistake. One customer has a problem with your brand. I mean, pick your phone and call that person or visit that person. What is the whole point of issuing a press release?
And it's just one person.
I mean, it's just one person. Go and talk with that person. And if you are to go out to the media and talk, first meet with this customer. Establish an understanding. Make them understand that the bad experience they had is not what your brand stands for. Make them come up with a conclusion on how you're going to resolve. And if you're going to issue a statement, issue it together with a great customer.
Okay.
I mean, that is part of crisis communication and crisis management. But now we have seen some brands going online. People didn't even know you have issues.
So
now they have an issue with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so that's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's you. We will never come there. They will even curse you. You get?
Yeah.
Some things require that. Other things require you to just send an email. Probably you are a land selling company and you promise to issue title deeds on, today is on 25th, right?
Yeah.
Of November. And last week you had not received the title deeds from the land registry or wherever it is these title deeds come from. and it is evident you will not be able to produce the titles today, email those customers, call them, let them understand, establish an understanding. You don't want to wait until Monday when customers are asking for their title deeds, or they're already in your office. You tell them, by the way, hatuna titles.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm speaking
It's
this
too
from
late.
experience. As an agency, I've worked with a land selling company that customers kept complaining all the time because of the same things. You schedule, there's something called public accountability. You, I'll give you an example. Last week we were supposed to have an event we call the Women CEOs Forum. We advertised it on the internet quite a lot. And in as much as some people paid, others registered, others didn't register, but the event was not feasible because we couldn't deliver the value that we had promised.
Yeah.
We didn't meet the set numbers. And we had to cancel the event, issue refunds, and call the people who had paid. But most importantly, there's people who had seen us advertising. You see, if you advertise something on the internet and saying, on the 21st of November, we'll have the Women CEOs Forum, whether or not these people are intending to come, you owe them. You see, you started something, you have to finish. So you have to either tell them the event happened, these are the photos, these are the videos, or the event didn't happen because of ABCD. But people most of the time miss that mark. You promised people that you'll have a title deed issuing day on this particular day. Probably it's for 50 customers, but your page has 50,000 people. You told them you will issue title deed to your customers.
Yes.
And then you only communicate to your customers that title deeds, you will not have a title deed issuing day, but you didn't tell the public that the title deed issuing day that you had planned is not coming. So you only pull out the post and just sit there and think the people will forget. People will not forget because people are always watching. Are you consistent in the things that you're promising? We may not be your customers or even your target market, but just because I'm not your target market and I'm consuming your content or the stories and the messages you're sending to us does not mean I do not know someone that would require your service or product at one given time. So if I'm not intending to buy land and you promised your customers you will give them title deeds, and I didn't see you posting photos of title deeds, you never said anything, you just continued launching another project. And a friend of mine, probably, these land selling companies target people in diaspora. A friend of mine from Dubai or UK or Minnesota or another place, or even next door, Tanzania wants to buy land in Kenya, and they asked me, I want to buy land with this company. What do you have to say about them? I mean, I'll be honest, these people promised title deeds and they never told us whether they gave out, they came out or not. You see, so that public accountability is very important. So we have moved from internal customers, we have gone to your real customers, we have gone to the general public. Now, there are also other stakeholders, the government. I mean, we have to pay taxes.
Zakayo lazima alipwe.
And of course, sometimes you will miss paying your taxes on time. I mean, just call your tax manager at KRA and tell them I'm having these some challenges, and I may not be able to pay this time, probably give me a week or two. You don't have to wait until KRA sends you demand letters. I mean, I've suffered that in the past. KRA wrote me letters. Of course, that was sorted, but you don't have to wait until they do that. I mean, we are in business, we're human beings, we understand sometimes things don't happen as you expect them. So you owe them that communication. Immediately you realize you will not be able to meet your obligations. The person who was expecting on that other end deserves that information. You need to tell them before, they start getting disappointment, they disappointed, they start seeing you as a wrong person and all that thing. Those are now the government, government relations. And of course, they are depending on the sector that you are operating from. There is different agencies and regulatory bodies that are involved or that you relate with. But also, you have suppliers. It's something we call supplier relations. You also need to know at what point do I interact with my suppliers? What pieces of information do suppliers expect from me? I mean, I've worked with some companies and they missed payments and they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us they were missing payments. Because you see, if you are if you are my supplier or I'm your supplier, let me use that lenient example. I'm
Okay.
your supplier for whatever service, and we live in a circular economy.
Yeah.
I provided some services to you. I delivered some goods to you. You paid some form of down payment, because for us at Calstick, you have to pay down payment. We need to see you are serious. We can sign contract, you can write us LPOs, but
You need to
we
show
need money. We need money. That is a fact. So you made some down payment, and probably you promised to pay the balance after the service is completed, or after 14 days of delivery, or 30 days and all that. And you just sit, the day comes, you miss the payment, you don't talk. The following day, you don't talk. I call you and ask you, I expected
What's
some
up?
payment, what happened? And you tell me, oh, whatever, to me that will be stories. I mean, let's be honest. If somebody was supposed to pay you and they didn't pay you on time and you have to follow up, anything they say will be stories, it will be hogwash, and whatever sort of names they will call it.
Exactly.
But if you're a responsible person enough to go and tell your suppliers that I'm expecting some payment on 25th or 30th of November, and they will pay probably bank transfer or check or whatever, so give me 3 days, I'll pay you on 28th. So you have promised me, you've promised your supplier that they're supposed to be paid on this particular day. And by 24th, it is evident the person who was paying you so that you can pay us has not paid, which means you will miss a payment, right? Communicate with your suppliers and tell them, by the way, hii payment naona ikidelay. So that you can help them plan. The same thing if you, at the end of the month, you see your income has not been very promising, and you will miss paying salaries. Tell your employees in time, but this month
There'll
has
be a
not been
delay.
good. There will be a delay for a day or two or a week. Not just keeping quiet there every day.
Leaving people
10
guessing,
days,
wondering.
20 days is almost 2 months. You're not talking, and you expect your employees to just be there, happy, clapping for you. I mean, they have obligations, they have responsibilities they have to take care of. So, the same thing with suppliers. So you have to ask yourself, which brand touch points does my brand have? What story do I offer to them? That is all about relations. There is also the other aspect of now building trust, credibility, things like, for example, we all talk about customer testimonials, product service journey and all those. We have seen an advert of Royco showing us how they make Royco cubes, from the farm, they bring whatever, and then they make. It just shows you, they want to tell us that their product is organic. And it helps you, because probably you love a particular ingredient and you've seen them telling a story of how they make it. They help you fall in love with the brand. You've seen Del Monte come and tell us our mango juice is 100% mango. Our pineapple juice is 100% pineapple. And they show you the process. You're able to fall in love with the brand. Because if you show me how you make your juice, your yogurt, and person B comes and sells us the yogurt and they don't tell us how they make the yogurt, I mean,
I'll be inclined to buy from the person
exactly the person you most relate with. If you we are now moving to solar at an increasing rate, and different companies that sell solar, you've been seeing them, you've been looking for a company to work with, you search on the internet, on social media, TikTok is big nowadays, LinkedIn and whatever, and you're looking for a company to work with. One of them just says, this is our customer, we installed solar. That is customer A. And this is whatever, the amount of power they're generating, this is amount they are saving from their electricity bills, this is how their processes have been able to improve. Another person says, we sell solar, this is, tell us about your project to send you a quotation. That is person B. And then company C comes and tells you, you see, there is a whole story for a whole month. They say, we have a client in Kajiado, they've been struggling with power bills, they have a farm, they need irrigation and all those things, and they're looking for a solution that will help them power their borehole, and this is us, we have delivered the materials, this is day one, we went for a site visit, we evaluated the project, then they have another video or photos of showing them delivering the materials, They have day 5 of doing the work up until the project completion and the customer testimonial. Which one are you likely to buy from? Person A, who told you this is our project in Karen, this is our project in Machakos, this is the power they are saving and all that. This is another person who just told you they do solar, and this is another person who showed you the journey of how they offer their service.
I'd go with the last one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is how important
storytelling is.
Yes.
Okay, now people are able to relate with you, and they're able to trust the products that you're offering and the services that you're offering, and that's now how you build brand loyalty, I believe.
Exactly.
Now,
you come out as authentic. I mean, if I tell you I install solar and I actually show you how I install it,
yes,
and you actually see me installing, compared to another person who tells you they install solar, they don't even show you whatever they do. And another person tells you they install solar and they show you their clients. I mean, my story comes out as authentic because you can actually see me.
Seeing is believing.
You've seen me doing that for this client, you've seen me doing this for this client, and you've seen me doing for the other client. That to me is way better marketing than keeping telling us, buy from us, buy from us, buy from us.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And is that where brands usually get it wrong? Or where have you seen brands getting it wrong, especially when they're trying to market their product and it's not working for them? So is it in this storytelling?
No, it's not storytelling, because I mean, very few brands engage in storytelling. This is what happens, and the problem is most SMEs, most organizations, and anybody will tell you there is always a fight between the finance guys and the marketing guys.
Why?
Because the finance guys sees marketing as a cost. And marketing is broad. There is business development, there is direct selling, the actual sales and advertising and all that. There is public relations where storytelling comes in, where brand messaging comes in, where media relations come in, where stakeholder engagement comes in. You see, all that. I kid you not. Go to any organization that you are thinking of today and ask them, do you have a communications department? Just ask them, do you have a communications department? Hawana. Do you have a communication strategy? Hawana. They only have sales and marketing.
That's it.
And the sales and marketing they're talking about is a bunch of sales guys only. Just sales. You given flyers.
Go out there to town.
And a lot of pressure. Not training. pressure. You're not meeting your targets. You know, it's a very sorry state of affairs. Because marketing is supposed to be holistic.
Okay.
You can't invest in just sales alone, running billboards and everything, and expect to compete with an organization that is doing that plus stakeholder engagement, that is doing media relations, media liaison. You can't compete with an organization that is doing, that is very active digitally. I mean, we live in a digital world. They are showing customer journeys, they are sharing their testimonials. You can't compare also a companies whose CEO is very vocal about telling their story with a company that nobody is known.
You don't even know who the CEO is.
They only post flyers. Flyers on Monday, flyers on Tuesday, and then on Sunday they post a Bible verse. You can't compare that with a brand that shows their real people. You know who their CEO is. They show how passionate they are about strategic communications. Like I'm here talking about strategic communication.
Yeah.
The other one is just hiding and telling us, oh, we can do social media for you. We can do logo design for you. I mean, people buy from people. If you go out there, organizations that are able to build personal brands within the organization can outcompete organizations that do not have personal brands. If you look at organizations where only the CEO, well, of course, the CEO is the face of the company. I mean, that's given in any industry, anywhere in the world. But you have seen organizations where the CEO is the face of the company. We have the company spokesperson.
Yeah.
You get? We have the sales and marketing manager does TV interviews, goes live. We have the customer experience and the customer success team. They also go live, they do videos. We have people in the which other department, business development, product development team. One company, but has different people going out to tell the brand story, compared to another company where only the CEO shares the story, and another company where nobody shares the brand story. You can't compare the success of those companies. I can name the brands, but they have not paid me to market them.
Yes, they've not paid anything.
Yes. But you agree with me, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
very true. What about companies that have sort of I don't know, that they sort of went below their standard? I'm trying to use a very politically correct statement. And how do they get back or gain back the trust and authenticity they had with their audience? Because we have had brands that were trusted and then people moved away from it for a reason or the other. So how do they gain back the trust? How do they start telling their stories again?
They hire Calstick. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the first direct answer, because they have to hire us, of course, as a communications agency, because first we need to analyze. We need to ask critical questions. Where were you before? Why did you come from that position? How did you lose trust with your team first, with your customers, with your with the general public? Because you have to ask yourself, you are not paying your employees. I mean, so nobody wants to work with you.
Yeah.
A friend of mine came and she was very confused, and she told me, my former boss, we have been friends for a longer time. So, my former boss in 2021, he's telling actually everybody resigned from that company, and now he's starting another company and he wants to fire me. And I'm like, why did you resign? We never got paid. Like, were you paid? And then she's like, no. And then she's like, I'm like, what are you confused about?
Yeah.
You worked with this guy in his previous company. He never paid you. He wants to hire you in another company. I mean, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
What trust do you have with this person? Let that person first pay you
Exactly.
what they owed you. Let that person first pay all others and confirm with them that this person has paid pesa za kitambo so that they can start hiring people. I mean, that is how trust is built. You run a land selling company, you never issued title deeds on time. You run a property development company, you never completed projects on time. You fell out with your customers. Issue those title deeds first. I mean, that's how we will tell you. Pay your employees that you never paid, issue title deed. I mean, deliver the customer promise. And then now come and tell the story.
Okay.
This is what we have done. We fell out because of this. This is how we have corrected it. The people who spoke ill of you, come back with them now, stronger, as an alliance, that we went short of our promise, we have delivered it, and this is now the direction that we are moving. And now we will be able now to help you to amplify that story. We'll help you to tell that story digitally through multimedia storytelling. We help you get into the media to tell that story. We will help in correcting the negative stories that were published by media houses about you. We will not delete the story, but we can add a disclaimer. If probably your company fell under because you are not issuing title deeds or you are not completing the story. I mean, we relate with journalists, and we are able to add at the beginning of the story. We talk with the editor and write hapo juu tunaandika this. The media house has now learned that the customers have been compensated, the title deeds have been issued. You see, you come out in a positive outlook, and now we now from there build positive stories. But you can't come and say, oh, we fell, but now we want to rise without rectifying previous injustices.
You can't just have a fresh start without correcting
and
the
it is not that easy like I'm putting it. It takes time, it takes a lot of honesty, because you come and hire us as an agency, we ask you questions, you don't answer us. How are we going to help you? I mean, we'll tell you, where is Idika? Yeah, I mean, look for someone else. Because even for us as an agency, we have values. Transparency, honesty, integrity. Those are our values, plus many others at Calstick. So we only work with brands that align with our values.
Okay.
Because we can't help you to tell a lie. I mean, our future is compromised.
Yeah,
Yes.
so because you're also looking out for yourself in
Exactly.
the long run.
Yes.
What about now in telling the stories of a brand? Do you need to, with how you know the media has evolved, the social media space, do you tell the same story across all the brands, or do you tweak your story depending on where you're disseminating it in?
There's something called brand consistency, but there is also something called storytelling strategy. You ask yourself, what goals do I have for my company? Brand engagement. No, the first one is brand visibility. The second one is brand engagement. The other one is brand engagement and stakeholder engagement is the same. The other one is, of course, generating more business sales. So that is on the strategy. Then this strategy is aligning with your stakeholders, your customers. I'm sure you're asking this in relation to customers. You need to segment your customers.
Yeah.
So I need to speak to my customers. Where do I speak with them?
Okay.
Where do I speak to them? Part of my customers are on TikTok. Part of my customers, the older generation, they watch news.
Okay.
Yes. They read newspapers. Others, millennials like myself, we are on Facebook and LinkedIn. Others, they are in malls. You get? So you ask yourself, which goal do I accomplish where? TikTok is really good for brand visibility, brand engagement with the younger and not so young people. The Gen Z and the millennials, not all of them, but it's really good. But these people trust influencers a lot.
Actually wanted to bring the influencer in.
Yes, they trust influencers a lot. So I'll do brand visibility, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels with influencers, with our team engaging with such things. I mean, we saw the late Bob Collymore doing a lot of things with people. We have seen what Sylvia Mulinge is doing in Uganda. She's part of the brand. She's doing the videos. And we have seen quite a number of other CEOs who are trying to catch up.
Yeah.
You know, doing brand visibility and engagement on those fronts. There's people who will not, I mean, social media makes them tired. They want to sit down and watch television, so they want to come like the way I'm here and talk to their stakeholders on TV, tell their story, appear on podcasts. They want to do native content on Facebook. They'll go and do brand activations. You know, you have a caravan, you partner with the Y254 or KBC, and you are on the road show in Kakamega, you know, greeting radio fans and the brand customers, you know, meeting them where they are. Others are in malls. You want to do brand engagement in mall. Others, if you're doing FMCGs, you know, FMCGs, for those who don't know, is actually fast-moving consumer goods. You're producing salt, you know, the basic commodities that we use: salt, flour, sugar. Mention the things that we use in the household, sanitary products, and those kind of things. You want to meet them at the supermarkets. You give them an experience. You know, you have to ask yourself where every segment of your stakeholders or customers are. The reason I'm mentioning stakeholders is because I'm a communication specialist. We tell stories, we don't do sales.
Okay.
Yes, I'm more into telling your story. I'm more into engaging your customers. I'm not more into getting you business, because people confuse communications agencies with advertising and marketing and sales agencies, which we are not. They are totally different. We actually, one day, a company hired us to do their multimedia storytelling, media relations, and social media marketing and lead generation, which we did very well. But they didn't call the leads we generated. I mean, we generate 400 leads for you and you don't call them.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, we thought you will call them. No, that is not part of our job. We generate leads, you call them.
You do the rest.
Yeah, you have your call center and your sales guys. That is not part of our job. And I think one day we need to sit here, by the
and
way,
talk about
the different types of agencies.
Mhm.
Because if you ask people today, SMEs, one thing they will together tell you is social media agencies don't deliver. They will tell you, I kid you not, they'll tell you social media agencies don't deliver.
Okay.
But it's because of misaligned objectives. You hire a social media agency that is supposed to help you tell your story digitally, native content, and do lead generation, and you confuse this with a sales agency. A sales agency is the one that generates sales for you. A social media agency is supposed to do brand awareness and brand engagement. Anyway, we are talking about story. So
We'll
you
get
have to
to
segment
that.
your customers, your stakeholders, look at the different mediums. We call them mediums. Website, social media, that is TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, podcasts, newspapers, magazines, activations, different types of activations, whether it's in retail outlets, that is supermarkets, or phone shops. If let's say you are Oppo or Huawei or whichever other brand of phones that you're selling, or you're selling gadgets, you want to have your people doing engagement in where your customers go to buy. You want to do caravans, so you have to segment. It's a whole thing. You have to do a strategy, and if you are interested, I mean, we can sit down with you, plan that whole thing for you, from how you start telling your story, the key message, the anchor message, and supporting messages, and how now you convert and track and measure your return on investment.
All right.
Yes, because I mean, you have to measure your brand reach, you have to measure your brand engagement, you have to measure how is it translating to sales.
Is that how you know that you have been effective in storytelling?
Yes, because you can be somewhere telling your story to the wrong people. Yes.
Okay.
Because part of storytelling and brand engagement is through stakeholder engagement and experiential marketing. So a company can reach out to us and tell us, we want to identify any events that we can go and sponsor. I mean, every single day, as we're here today, there's probably 100 events happening within Nairobi.
Sure.
How do you know which one you're going to sponsor? We have seen so many people taking their marketing budget and sponsoring the wrong events for the wrong reasons. You get? Because they lack these things you're talking about. So you need to ask yourself, where exactly are my stakeholders? What do I go and do there? Do I go there and do brand marketing? Do I go there and do sales? You see, do I go there and provide customer experience? You know, we have a new brand of juice. Let people taste. You're not there to sell.
All right.
Yes. You know, there's a reason it's called stakeholder engagement. There's a reason it's called experiential marketing, because you want to provide an experience. You want to build an experience. And then after that, now you can build the sales process and all that. But some people sponsor the wrong events and expect to get a return on investment overnight.
This can't happen. It doesn't work that way.
It can't happen. You know, you have to tell people the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair enough. And as a way of closing, what is it that you yourself, you know, have learned over the years that people can also learn from, and what are the emerging trends in event storytelling that people need to be aware of?
Be honest, be transparent, be authentic, be yourself. I mean, you can't go lying to people and expect to get away with it. You can succeed for the short period, but my friend, ile kichapo inakungoja inafanya warm up. You will fail in a way that you never expected. So it's good to be honest with all your stakeholders. It's good to be factual. That's something that I've learned over the last 8 years I've been in communication. But there's a lot of emerging trends, especially multimedia storytelling. The way customers interact with brands is totally different. So the question you need to ask yourself is, you go back to your drawing board with your team. If you don't have a team, you get an agency that can help you, and be able to ask yourself, what different ways are our customers consuming our story are our customers consuming our product? How can we reach them there? You know, a while back, people used to use Google to search quite a lot. You know, we use keywords and all those things, which is really good. Nowadays, people are searching on TikTok.
Sure.
But we used to do search engine optimization, which we still do. But now there is artificial intelligence. So you need to do AI search engine optimization.
Okay.
Yes. You see, things are changing very fast.
So
you need to ask yourself, what are the emerging trends within our industry? Because, I mean, we have so many industries and sectors. We can't talk about them here today. You have to ask yourself, where do we fall? Where, what have changed in terms of customer relations, employee relations? Also, if you have a hybrid or work from home model, what are the emerging trends in relating with stakeholders and all those kind of things, and then you formulate a strategy that you can be able to, you know, grow your business.
Okay, great. Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much for the insights.
You're
Maybe
welcome.
you can share your platform or where people can get you if they need your services.
No, it's easy. Just go and search top PR agency in Kenya or strategic communications agency in Kenya.
Okay.
You will find Calstick there, and you say, I'm offering 15% discount for any service you choose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. That's an offer that you really need to jump on if I were you. Thank you very much, Patrick, once again.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure. So we have been talking about how to tell your brand story, and we've had Kimani Patrick, the CEO of the Calstick Group Limited. I hope you've taken something from it. Maybe, hopefully, we'll continue with this conversation later or another topic. For now, we take a short break and then we'll be right back. Stick with us.
Y254. Imagine.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelby.
Wagwang. My name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course, with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizwi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Chemi za uongo, story za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawalitikiza kamongo.
What's up, everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most turned-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness. Mad music na always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Our stories shape our future. It's within them that we get to know ourselves.
God always came through in a way that we couldn't even explain. And we came to realize that putting God at the center of it is like everything else will just flow.
What do you do when push comes to shove?
He was a great man. At that moment, he was supportive. Until 6 months, we went for the first surgery.
That's why here on The Nest, we tell you these stories to empower you and shape your parenting. Every Tuesday from 7:30 p.m. only on Y254.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude. We sample some of the best artistic works locally and beyond our borders. Oh, and don't get me started on the cultural events. Music, dance, fine art, culinary arts, and much, much more. You name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on Y254 channel.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
Drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
to keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Y254. Imagine. Y254. Imagine.
Comando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kenrelby.
Wagwang. My name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi, wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawale tikiza kamongo.
What's up, everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most turned-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable, they know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Y254. Imagine.
In recent years, a seismic shift has been felt across the beauty landscape as more and more men boldly step into what was once considered exclusively feminine territory. The presence of men in the beauty industry is not only breaking stereotypes, but also reshaping the very definition of masculinity.
I'm Loktishan Maish. I've been in the beauty industry for 3 years now. I work at Kimathi Street Corner House at Edu's Hair and Beauty Salon.
Kwa majina naitwa Francis Job.
nimekuwa nikifanya hii kazi ya nails for 7 years.
My name is Eliud Irongo. I'm a nail tech. Nimekuwa kwa hii biashara for over 10 years. Na hii biashara inanipeleka vizuri.
Here we delve into the journeys, challenges, and triumphs of these trailblazers, exploring how they are not just challenging norms, but also driving innovation and inclusivity in an industry long dominated by traditional gender roles.
Kabla ni join industry, nilikuwa kwa biashara ingine. But nilikuwa tu napenda, but sikuwa nimepata chance. But sasa one of my friend akanimotivate. Akaniambia beauty industry ni mzuri na naweza join.
Ni motivate nayo. Nikiwa high school nilikuwa natembea tao. Brother wangu alikuwa anafanya hii kazi. Sasa nikaona venye hii job inaendelea, nikaona si vibaya vile. So after high school nikaamua kujoin.
Nikianza hii kazi mimi by the way, passion yangu iko hapa. Nikamkam tu kujificha, nione kama itajipa. So by the time nimeendelea kufanya kazi, nikaona by this career I can do it, niko na passion yake. So nikai-embrace, nikaamua si nikuwa optician.
Tangu day one nimekuwa nikipenda hii kazi. So that time nilikuwa high school, nilikuwa naipenda tu lakini sikuwa nafanya. So hata nikimaliza high school nilikuwa tunajua naenda kufanya hii kazi.
Kazi safi. Hii kazi nao ukifanya kazi safi, hiyo nao utawin. Lazima ukuwe na passion. Hii kazi nayo inataka passion. Hata kama unaipenda, lazima ukuwe na passion.
You know, we also do the work because we also want money. So you can't refer him to a female and you also know the work. So wewe pia utamtengeneza tu. But kuna the way you can converse with him in a good way. So we just balance all clients. In this female industry, there are many challenges as a man. You can find a client who has this attitude, na uko na ile attitude, so lazima ujue kubalance vile utamuongelesha, communication skill yako na understanding skill yako vile mta converse na mteja. You should know the client is always right. That's what you say in order to survive in this industry. Huwezi tolea mteja makasiriko bado, so lazima utoe, rudisha tena vile anataka.
Ninayo hapa ni kujiamini tu. Na uko unapenda hii kazi yako na ujue kuhandle customer vizuri. Na tengeneza vizuri hivi. So hata akirudi narudi kwako tu. Ndio? Hata kompe ikiwa juu, customer yako na maintain.
Time yenye utakuwa kwa hii industry unajua tu vile utahandle pole pole. Challenge ni mingi, customer atakuja aseme sitaki kutengenezwa na yeye, ama yeye ni mchafu, ama unakaa hivi. But sasa kitu ya kwanza lazima ukuwe msafi. Ukijua zile challenge unaweza pitia kwa industry, lazima kwanza ujaribu ku-avoid. So kitu ya kwanza ni usafi. Hiyo lazima maintain. Kitu ya pili, utoto harufu weird. Unajua wasichana ni wale tu. So hizo lazima ujaribu venye nini. Yes.
Even if customer wana prefer kutengenezwa na men. Sometimes wanatuambianga sijui wasichana wako na attitude, mood zao ni baya. So wana prefer kutengenezwa na mwanaume. Utamtengeneza bila attitude nini?
Isa beauty industry sahi ni for men. For ladies, sahi wako na challenge. Juu ladies wataki kutengenezwa na ladies, wanataka men. Yes. Juu men wanafanyanga kazi safi.
Maybe kuoshwa tu ni rare sana watengenezwa na ladies. Juu pia ladies mnapenda tukiwatengeneza. Sijui mbona mnapenda touch yetu.
Sinaga male clients. Ni few sana, maybe 2 3. Na wakikuja, mimi niko na wasichana na waitianga juu watakangi kutengenezwa na sisi vijana. Watakanga ladies ndio wakifanywa massage and I enjoy.
You know, we also do the work because we also want money. So you can't refer him to a female and you also know the work. So wewe pia utamtengeneza tu. But kuna the way you can converse with him in a good way. So we just balance all clients.
Kuna customer wengi wanaume hivi. So hata mwenye utapata, utamhandle tu vizuri. Ndio unaona mwanaume tena anahitaji nguvu ya mwanaume kama ni pedicure hivi. Ndio I enjoy the service.
It depends, but we do usually go for house calls. But in case of a situation like that, maybe amepata newborn, but si zote pia, si occasion zote. Unaona sasa nikienda house call, msewa nails pia atasafa. Maybe client anataka kutengeneza nails, mimi natengeneza nywele. So atatengeneza. So we prefer kuja tu kwa salon. Because kwa salon pia tuna access everything. Kuna sink.
Ndanga house calls. Hata maharusi naendanga. Juu niko na team. So nikipata harusi, mimi na timu yangu tunaendanga site.
Kichwa yake na yeye amekuletea zifanani tuanzia. So you must balance them. So ukiona hiyo style itaingiana vizuri na yeye, unaweza mpea better option. But aki insist, nimekuambia the client is always right. Unamwekea tu hiyo yake. So unaweza pata amekuambia ama tuweke tu ile yako. Na bisa utoe, uweke hiyo.
Mimi nao kitu kwanza mimi nakuanga creative. So ukileta chochote, art yote, mimi na deliver. Sisemangi sijui. Yes. Tunapenda art.
Yes, niko na projects kadhaa nakuja like nataka kushutingi. Unaona nikifanya job, when you do work, you usually market yourself. Lazima ujimarket ndo gain more clients. So kuna day nita decide kuwe ni day ya shoot for clients. So wakikuja wajue siku wanafanya shoot na kuna offer made ya price na wapeka percentage.
Yes, very soon. Yeah, very soon.
Naweza ambia ni hata kama unataka kufanya hii kazi lazima ukuwe unaipenda na kuwe tayari hata changamoto zenye utapitia. Kuwe tayari kunini.
Chenye naweza waambia mtu mwenye anataka kuingia kwa hii biashara. Hii biashara ni mzuri. Yes. Na inalipa. Na mtu yote anataka kujoin anaweza kuja. Hata anaweza nitafuta mimi. Yes. Naweza mtrain na nimfunze. Yes. Na tufanye kazi pamoja. Si lazima uende shule. But shule kidogo tu at least ndio ukuwe na idea. Yes. But si lazima uende shule. Hii ni kitu unaweza kuja tu nikufunze na ushike.
Mimi naweza advise wenye wanafanya hii job tu wakuwe patient, more patient. Juu hii kazi, hii career si rahisi. There are many people in this industry and new styles are coming. So maybe wasichoke kulearn by the way. Vitu mingi zinakuja, kuna sister locks zilikuja, hazikuwa. Very many things are coming up. So wakuwe tu patient, learn, na wakuwe tu obedience tu. Na focus. Important sana, focusing.
The stories and insights shared by these trailblazing men in the beauty industry illuminate not only their individual journeys, but also the broader shift towards inclusivity and innovation within the realm of beauty. They are not just challenging norms, they are rewriting the script of masculinity, diversity, and creativity. Beauty knows no bounds. Diversity is our strength, and authenticity is the truest form of beauty.
You're dealing with the boss. If we break up, yeah, you know that it's your loss.
This week on The Buzz.
Said you want me back, you can't touch this.
Liam Neeson is back with another action-packed film titled Absolution.
You're crazy. Can you just walk away?
Abinguma lets us know all about his new album on Creative Corner. We will highlight the life story of Cynthia Erivo. Find out what led to the alleged fallout of Ogobina and Damo Facebook.
God is in people, but so is the devil.
Be sure to tune in on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for your favorite entertainment show.
Just to kill me too many times.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
Drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Y254. Imagine.
And we are back, as promised. There's a lot. I don't know what's popping in, but yes, we are right about the tail end of the show today. And we have an interesting topic that we have on MCM. Today, I'm privileged to have the men on set. Najua inakwanga set ya men, but who am I? Yes, today I'm holding a conversation with a gentleman. And it's on toxic work environment, specifically for men. How do they navigate toxic work environments? Give us your comments pale on our socials, Facebook at Y254 channel. Talk to us on Instagram, X as well. The hashtag is Y in the morning. My personal handle is at Stephanie Ayeta. So right here with me, rejoining me is Manu, the famous Banning_Dollar. And I'm also joined by the guest of the day, that is Elias Ndata. He's a student from the University of Nairobi, taking psychology. And maybe he'll tell us from a psychologist's point of view on this topic. Yeah, so Manu, let me start with you before I go to Elias. Okay, let me start with Manu before I go to Elias. Yeah, what do you think about, not to get into it, but how important is this topic?
So this topic is really important actually, because as men tumezoeanga mwanaume ni kukaa ngumu. In your workplace, no matter what, men actually, in any workplace, men tend to do a lot of work than women. Especially hizi kazi za mkono. Anywhere, go to the streets, go to the mjengo, go to these people who are putting up, I don't know, big buildings. Most of it, it's all about men. The workplace of men is so hectic and it's so masculine. Even they're supposed to be masculine, but even the work is very masculine. And so as a man, it's really difficult to be a man.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
As
but
a
you have to be a man.
so wow, okay.
So this topic is really nice.
Interesting.
I hope it helps somebody back at home, and it helps me. Yeah, and from the psychological views, I hope
get something.
Na tulitwa gentleman.
Very important.
Emmanuel gentleman from today.
Manu. Yeah, so I like that. For a man, it's hard to be a man, but you have to be a man. Yeah. Yo, write it somewhere, tweet it somewhere. All right, to you. Now, as a psychologist,
yes,
do you think this is an important topic to get into?
For sure, it's an important topic because work is what makes us to be humans in this continent. And I really believe if we can sort out the issue of psychological, mental issues on workplaces, everything back at home, it will be okay, because most of the time men spend their time at workplace and not at home. If we can transform that home into workplace, I think it will be a good idea.
Okay, I think you meant to transform that workplace to be home.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be ideal. All right, so we're going to, later on, we're going to look at maybe how the ideal workplace will be like. But talking of toxic work environment, what does a toxic work environment look like? Let me just continue with you, Elias.
Okay, for example, toxic work environment, if I'll be clear, we have been experiencing as a country, as a continent, that men are most of the time they experience stress at workplaces, they underdo a lot of job at workplaces, the environment there, the physical environment, the mental environment, the psychological environment, the sociological environment, and the physical environment for men, it's a no deal at all. Most likely in Kenya or in other upcoming nations in Africa. So if we are able to sort out that issue and be able to create a conducive environment for work environment for men and both women, I think it will be a good thing.
Okay, so we need to create a work environment, a good work space for both men and women. We're still on Team Women, only that today is the Man's Day. Yeah, right. Today we are on Team Men. So yeah, okay. So to you, Manu, toxic work environment, how does that look like for you? Tunajua uko kwa toxic work environment.
Yeah, of course I work in KBC. How can I be in a toxic work environment?
So how would a toxic work environment look like for you? That you can just take it.
So before I came to KBC, I was working in some media house. I won't name the name. It's not a big media house, but it's a media house. So mtafanya research pale nyuma ya tent, but nitakuambia. So a toxic work environment, it's first there's a lot of bullying, a lot of workload, unapatiwa a lot of job maybe. Yeah, it's okay, you say that you will work under maximum pressure, blah, 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 under any conditions. But a toxic work environment is when now you come into the work environment and then you are given a lot of workload to do. And then there's a lot of discrimination. There's belittling from your superior employers. There's a lot of nikitu to some place that you don't belong. Nikame level ulikuwa unaingia class and there's that one student that people hate. But now in this case, people don't just hate you. It's just maybe your superiors, they're not nice people. Ama there's a lot of workload, stress from home. Yeah, toxic, yeah, it rotates around there, a lot of workload. Na sana mostly what brings it in, it's pressure from above.
Okay,
yeah.
So now let me just throw some fire into the works. See, I'm not an agent of the devil, but having that you're both the Gen Zs, coincidentally, I'm assuming you're both Gen Zs, you look like Gen Zs. They say, what you take as a toxic work environment, a millennial is used to. Like, that's just a normal working environment. Because what you've mentioned, for instance, you said the workload is too much, and the superiors, the pressure.
From above, yeah.
But when you're interviewed, given a job interview, can you work under pressure? I work under pressure. So where is that? There's a thin line. How do you, because some people usually, well, there's this back and forth between especially Gen Zs and boomers saying, oh, Gen Zs are too entitled, they want things their way, this is how we've been working, why do you think this is a toxic work environment, yet we've worked here for 20 years, that kind of a thing. So what really makes a toxic work environment not just an idea that the Gen Zs have, and an actual toxic environment that can affect someone? I know we'll talk about the effects, someone even mentally. So what is the difference? Let me start with you. Okay, Manu can take it and then we go to Elias.
Actually, it was around here. So what makes, it's not the Gen Z saying it, it's not me saying it, that it's a toxic work environment, but what makes it toxic, that thin line like you said, it's when you come here, ukipatiwa job, you are given some duties, like this and this and this will be your work. And I'm sorry to say this, I stand to be corrected, but our millennial parents and our millennial brothers and siblings, I believe that Gen Zs are more entitled because they know their rights. They believe they know their rights. They are more open into social media, into the constitution. Some Gen Zs, in high school, people know the constitution, some. Yeah, so they know more of their rights. They are like, when you employed me, you told me I will be doing this and this and this. So mbona saa hii unaanza kuniambia, by the way pia utafanya hivi, and it was not in the agreement. Then now the workload starts there. Maybe you are just a host, and then you just come, like for example, your place, and then you come tomorrow, then your producer tells you, nipange your set, ni white balance your camera. You see? Workload starts there. Yeah, and because you want the employment, utakuwa tu zile za unapanga tu, it's okay, but without knowing that you're affecting yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me hear from you as well, Elias.
Okay, I do believe if the work environment is toxic in this perspective, the Gen Zs are there. We are there believing that if we want to work for this certain capacity of job, this is the amount needed to be paid. But now it's a vice versa. Especially right now, the job qualification is very high for the Gen Zs and for any person who is in the job market outside there. So I think if now the employees and the people who are there with jobs, if they can rationalize and try to cooperate with us, try to learn from us and listen from us, I think everything will be okay. I do believe the millennials or our fathers and our parents, they used to work under that pressure, but things now have changed. If now it's clear we have mental health issues and it's there in the market being talked about. I think if they can listen to us, they can learn something from us. I think even them, they are regretting of what they are doing because someone maybe somewhere have been doing such much job for decades, but akuwa na ile right ama akuwa na that opportunity to talk out or to share his emotions out. That's the reason why maybe we are in the situation we are right now, that so many people are there, need to be employed, but the jobs are not there because the qualification is high, the job capacity is so high, the amount of money, the salary received is too low. So that's the thing we need to work on it, we need to change, and we need to come into agreement and to have a good talk about it.
Right. So you are saying that, you know, it might be the same environment that they've been working in, but maybe they regret it, only that you know better. Or it's the season that has changed, and they need to work together with you in that particular space. So if what I'm getting from here, what you define as a toxic work environment for Manu, it's the workload, excessive workload, and the pressure that you're getting. What about you? For you, Elias, if there were two things that you'd say that this is clearly a toxic work environment, those would be?
Let's say maybe the workload, it's there, and the salary received, the amount of salary received. Okay. It's very difficult for a man to work under pressure. You know, men, we used to be quiet. We are so quiet, and if we work under pressure, tunanyamazia tu, but inatuma huko ndani. So the time inakuja kuerupt, inakuwa very dangerous.
Okay, so for you, it is the salary, if you know it doesn't match what you're being paid, and the workload, of course. All right. So what about, you know, for the longest time, the ladies have had some sort of a cushion. Yes, they still go through it, but they have some sort of a cushion in that, you know, when the male bosses make advances on them, and this is usually a problem. It's a challenge, but it's being worked on. It's out there. But for men, I believe men also face this, but I don't know why men do not speak. Would that also qualify as a toxic work environment when your female boss is making advances at you? Because, like, you know, you are Gen Z and she feels like she's driving a Harrier and you'd make a good Ben 10, you know, and you have the pressure that you have to, you know, bow to that because you need to maintain your job. You know, just the same story script, only that it's a lady on this side. Would you classify that as a toxic work environment?
So fast. Okay, is that really toxic? Okay, is it really toxic? Okay, it depends. You know, for a God-fearing man like me, it will be toxic. For a man with values like me, it will be toxic. Yeah.
It's like, no, you're...
No, let me be serious.
Yeah, I'm not buying.
For a man with values like me, for a man who knows the Lord, who fears the Lord, for a man who knows what you want to accomplish, you love yourself, take care of yourself, dignity. Yeah, it's toxic. But again, there's that pressure that, you know what, you won't say no. You can be, or your name can be identified on the higher level that you can't access. So I believe that, yeah, it's there, it's very real actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and these days,
So-
the Ben 10 have actually even taken it up than
Why?
even the sugar daddy and the lady. It's normal these days. But
Uh-huh.
go to clubs at night, Upper Koinange Street, go to this, you will find big millennial ladies with some very young, actually, I'm actually big. Mimi mzee. Some two babies. Yeah,
Two
so,
babies,
yeah,
eh?
it's some toxic to some extent.
Okay, so Manu anasema it just depends uko
With your
wapi.
values,
For
eh?
others it's
But
what,
that's your opportunity, life opportunity.
what about you, Elias?
Okay, I think also it depends, but if we can look very well, most of the corporates, like the heads are for the decades and the current status, they were all male, and male have been dominating that sector of the corporate, the heads of the corporations. So I think if that thing might happen, that the lady, she's there and she's trying to manipulate the Gen Zs, as you have said, who are men, I think it will not be a good issue, and it will be working under pressure, and it will lead maybe
Now
to
that's working
mental.
under pressure.
Yeah.
The other definition of working under pressure.
yeah, working under pressure, because you know you'll be working for someone or for something else. So I think it's a toxic work environment, and it will lead to mental health issues, stress, and depression for real.
All right, great. Because we were just jumping onto the effects of men being in a toxic work environment, and I'm specifically saying men because women talk, men do not talk.
Yeah.
So let me continue with you, Elias. What are the effects of men being in a toxic work environment?
Okay, I think the effects are there. It's all over in the social media, and it's all over the society. It's clearly you can see that men, we don't talk, hatuongeangi sana tukiwa kwa tuna work under that toxic environment. But if now someone maybe might look at those works or the hard works that men do wanafanya, it's very difficult for them. Unapata most of the time wanakuwa sickness, it's there. Unapata mtu, for example, that amekuwa admitted to the lady boss, a boss who she's a lady. Unapata maybe she's suffering from a certain disease and then depression back home. The home inakupush push, fanya kazi, you're a man, hatuwezi fungiwa nyumba ukiwa hapa hivi. So unapata depression, unakuwa na stress. That's mostly unapata accidents zina happen in our roads. Unapata that driver amekuwa akiwork under pressure, drugs addiction is there because ajui afanye nini, hawezi solve hizo vitu zote. Bringing them together inakuwa very difficult. And again, kuja upate most of the time unapata tuko na that stress ina lead to hallucinations and maybe the jobs napata, I am working under pressure, I need to do this, I need to leave this job and start another job, or to enter into other illegal jobs like drug trafficking, let's say theft and all those, and robbery. Those are now among the key effects that working under pressure can lead, because someone will have to quit that job and start another thing else, which is very difficult and very...
Okay, all right, I get it. Because men have the pressure of, being a man. You are a man, so you be strong, you be there. Manu, would you, if you're in such a position, would you quit a job because it's a toxic work environment? No, okay, let me rephrase it. Because Manu is not a father. For as far as I'm concerned, you're single. I don't know. So you don't have responsibilities. So now, you, some years later, you have a family, you have a wife, you have your parents. Kuna ile black tax. Hata kama wako sawa, kuna tu ile lazima utumie wazazi. There's a lot in your space. So would you quit knowing the kind of responsibility waiting for you?
Yeah, it depends on the extent of the atmosphere in that job environment. Because I believe that these men that you see, these femicide cases, like I saw the last statistics for 97 femicides in 90 days. I believe that those 90 men, not all of them are bad.
They're all bad, if you ask me.
Yeah, they are bad after what they did. After what they did. But if you look at their life, some aspects, you never know what resulted to these men. Okay, some just come because of cheating, money, but some mostly unapata ni hizo work stress. It's just, it affects you mentally without you knowing. Let's say, for example, you are in the instant of being a Ben 10. Someone is really pressuring you to be a Ben 10. You want to be maybe faithful to your girlfriend that you have. She wants anataka sijui date, iPhone. In order to get that money, you need to go back to being a Ben 10. Being a Ben 10, kazi mingi, kukua sijui makazi hapa, job. You see, by the end of the day, you find that this man is stress zote. Whenever he gets a chance to portray them, to get them out, he will get them out at anyone. Ukimkasirisha tu hivi kidogo, boom. So most of the cases you find that these men come from work na stress za kazi, because you can't tell your boss nothing. Your boss right now decides, Jeffrey, she's a producer, comes and says, maybe, or let me use Brenda. Mambo bossy, Brenda comes and tells you, Stephanie, I want you to do this and this and this. You will do. Bila question. But you will go back home, maybe you are a man, you will find your wife. Maybe amepika chumvi mingi, or there's something. You will utamtolea hizo stress zote. So to that extent, me, I might leave my job. If I find out that the pressure is too high, it's draining me a lot, I'm receiving burnouts, there's impaired judgment in my work, maybe the productivity has gone down due. Hizo zote zinaletwa tu na negative atmosphere. So what's the essence of staying there? Me plus I can't stay in a place that I don't grow. I will just walk out. God will provide a way.
Sorry. Elias, what do you think about Manu's comment? Do you think it's practical for, now if you are in the same shoes, would it be practical for you to leave your job, you have a family, and you need to go and not be a toxic husband because of your toxic work environment, if I got Manu right? Would that be practical?
Okay, I think the family is the basic social unit of a society. And if you are at home or at the family level, you are at that ranking that you are a man and you need to do this and to do this for you to survive. I think at the workplace, it's just part of the family. Workplace, industries and companies are made up of families and family members. So if now the family members that you meet there at the workplace, it's not conducive, it's better for you to quit and go back to your family where you are comfortable and where you are where you're accepted. But again, the responsibility part is there. Unafaa provide school fees, rent, food. So what are you going to do? That's now the question about tuanze kulizana. What are you going to do after quitting that job, or after kuzozana na boss? Okay, so I think now you need to start thinking of who you are first of all, to recognize who you are, if you can work under pressure. By the way, there are so many people who can work under that pressure, but there are others who are working under that pressure by the influence of others, or by the influence of the society. So we need to differentiate if I'm working under that pressure by my own willingness or by the pressure of my family or the pressure of the society. I need first of all to recognize that aspect before I enter into a job or I start working. We have been experiencing so many jobs which are so masculine that unapata only men are there. Unapata it's boring. You spend the whole day seeing hard faces,
Wow.
Okay. And
right.
Yeah.
So men should not be in by masculine where all men are. They should have some female faces.
I think three-third gender rule it needs to be applied in every workplaces, because personally I can't work the whole day seeing hard faces, people who are I can't work. Yeah, it's not motivating.
So that is a toxic work environment?
It is for sure. It is for sure. So it is for sure. I think the work sectors and the corporate the companies now inafai introduced that three-third gender rule, on which unapata the ratio. The ratio it's reasonable. For example, let's say I have this good example. So many people wanna work pale at Mudhurwa market. That market is so stranded. Unapata the people who are selling vegetables there and the fruits, they are women. But the people when you wanabeba hizo gunia za waru. They are all men, they are tired. Unapata they work 24 hours, they are tired. Unapata their lifestyle, their health, it's at rest. Yeah, so I think if now the government or someone else can come up with an idea on how we can reduce that masculinity in a masculine person, I think it will be better.
Well, okay, me bado niko hapo kwa one-third gender role, it being a toxic work environment. I'm thinking, where the ladies are there, will you not still complain that they're tempting, they look provocative,
but they make life lively?
You know, won't that be a challenge?
But at least they make life lively, I believe. At least seeing them around, but toxic, not really, but being around at least, when we are at least men, it's kind of boring. You need at least a lady to come. You need motivation to dress smart. You need motivation to bathe in the morning to come to work.
Guys, did you just know your motivation, ladies?
Ladies, I want this man that kill ladies because ladies motivate you. Ladies, having a lady in your life just, you want to be better.
When is the next Mother's Women's Day? What are you bringing us?
I'm giving you roses, flowers in the carrots, everyone in the white 254.
Because you can't live without us. Clearly, it has been established. So now, what would be the ideal work environment? We've talked about the toxic work environment, and I remember when we were off air, Elias mentioned something about childcare. So maybe you can bring it now. What has childcare, how does it make an ideal work environment?
Okay, I think the Kenyan government, it's need to upgrade how it implements some of the things which need to be implemented as early as now. Because we have been experiencing as a nation that most of the time we only recognize these women without husband.
Did you just say
that have kids?
The single mothers. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Did not just say it's women in that. Okay.
It's very difficult for a man or for someone else to stand somewhere and say I'm a single father. You know that thing it can bring up some difficulties. Unapata you are a man. Why can't you now marry another woman? You are under pressure at then, and now the society is pushing you marry another woman.
The life you are in.
Yeah, the life you are in right now.
So that's another pressure.
Yeah.
Do not pressure single men to marry.
Exactly.
Because of children.
Exactly.
Let it be known.
And this
don't pressure me to date.
Okay. I think now if companies will come up with a way, because these are single fathers, they are in work environment. Umempatia night shift afanye kazi usiku, ana work night shift. The children are back there at home, crying, miserable, stressed up. They need someone to take care of them. But if a company will come up with a place or another company in that company which will accommodate the children of these single fathers who are working there, I think it will be okay. Maybe we'll provide, for example, kukwena competition, kukwena sports activities, and kukwena recreational activities for these children wakwe wanaona mababa zao at that time. For example, you can see most of the men wanna work maybe from others even work 12 hours a day. Unapata wametoka nyumbani usiku, wamerudi usiku, watoto ndio wao hawawajui. Hata some men watoto hawawajui, wanaonanga usiku, wanatoka asubuhi wakiwa wamelala, wanarudi wakiwa wanaenda kulala. So such a thing, if companies will come up with that place where it will accommodate, iseme maybe twice a week we will be having these activities, these sport activities, the children are going to be there. If companies again will build up schools, for example, unasoma ukiona dadi, unafanya kitu ukiona dadi, I think it will be better. Okay. The thing we are suffering in right now, maybe that femicide issues, is that this hawajui hata ni nani. Maybe someone that man hajakuwa related, hajakuwa that close with the family. But when atakuwa close with the family, I think some of these cases itakuwa reduced up. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Interesting perspective there. So the single fathers have been neglected. Kidogo,
exactly.
They're not considered because single mom, maybe you'll be told to work until this time because uko na mtoto nyumbani, but can a man say the same thing for himself? Ama tambiwa wewe peleka hata kwa mama yako
Yeah.
atakulelea.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's usually
Yeah.
kama si ukawe ukapeleke mama yako, you know, and you want to be a present father, so at least they need to be shielded kidogo on that, and I think that's a good point there.
So first,
what about you, Manu?
So first, I believe is identify the source. Identify what's toxic in this environment that I'm working in. After you identify the source, then you start seeking the solution. Because most people, even the people that commit suicide, I believe that they focus on the challenge. Like you focus on what's nini na kusumbua. You focus on so and so. Every time you see maybe that person who's giving you that toxic vibe, you are like, your mood in a switch in a too negative anytime that you see them. But after you identify it and you start seeking for a solution, let's say, for example, how can I avoid this person? How can I be nice to this person? Because I believe wema, ukitendea mtu wema, those people, they will start treating you right. Mtu anajirudianga ko, this person, nashinda nikimpiga vita na yeye is very friendly. Is actually yeye ana ubaya. So identify the situation, the toxic, why that thing that bringing toxicity, or the person, then the solution, and then set boundaries. Set boundaries and stay professional. Like, this is what I can do. Maybe a Ben 10, Madam Boss, I can do this and this and this to you, but from here, I won't do. And it's very difficult for someone to fire you because of that. Maybe atakutafutia kashida in the future, but if you stay professional and avoid mistakes, you can be in a position to tell her, me, I'm not doing that. I have maybe a wife. I'm not into that. I'm godly. I have my values. Set boundaries and stay professional. Jua shida, tafuta solution. Usifocus kwa shida. Usifocus kupigana mabaya kwa mabaya. You win to win, because most of these people who fight you, they are above you. But if you beat them with goodness, goodness will come down.
Okay, all right. So what if your job is at risk? Because for some, it's usually an ultimatum, or, you know, you do this or I won't renew your contract. So Apple, maybe your job is at risk to some extent.
So again, when you notice that, because an environment won't just wake up and be toxic, because everyone, once you go to a new job, you love that job. You will love it. People will love you. With the time now, the boss will start demanding. So the moment ushaanza kuona, awa watu, this vibe, no, start looking for another job. Don't wait to be fired. Have that bargaining power, where you can tell someone, you know what, I can quit. Because if you quit before your employer fires you, you have the bargaining power. Okay. But if your employer fires you, then you are done. So once it starts getting toxic, tafuta option, tafuta kazi zingine, because I believe that no man was brought to be stagnant in one organization. And if there are things that you can incorporate, and maybe if you don't have any values and you really love money, like the way I see people, these billionaires who do scams, they can do anything for money. I saw a lot of cases, some that I can't even mention here, that our sisters do for money. So if you are that type of person, you can compromise. But if you have your values, mapema and your best, ukiona red flag, start looking for other jobs.
Okay, so when you start seeing the red flag, tafuta exit plan. Lanza na exit plan, mapema. What about you? For someone who's in a fix, not everyone can say, mimi siwezi work in a toxic work environment. Hapa tu ndo nitaka. You know, if it kills me, it kills me. But that should not be the mindset, really. But how can someone, tips for someone to survive, and Manu has sort of alluded to it already, but how can someone survive, make the most, or basically just surviving in a toxic work environment?
Okay, I do believe jobs environment or job sector is just like a marriage. Kuna wenye wanang'ang'ana kuingia na kuna wenye wanang'ang'ana kutoka. And na hiyo ndio inafanya kwa more interesting. And for example, like now in Kenya, we have a few companies which are now coming up. Na zitahitaji watu. But the people wenye unapata, you can now have a job, maybe it's after someone retire, or after a different opportunity imetokea in that sector, or after your qualification is so high. I think if the environment is so toxic, you need to first of all address the problem, come up with the problem. What is it toxic in this workplace? For example, kama kuna that issue ya salary, you can try to figure out, what am I doing here? What can I do best again after doing this? Or where can I be held after quitting this job. First of all, have somewhere before you quit that job, or have another idea of getting another job before you quit that job.
Okay.
Quitting a job right now, it's very difficult in Kenya because the unemployment rate is so high compared to employed. And for example, if you can quit a job, maybe due to some other pressure, for example, from the boss or from the society, I think it will end up messing you more. I think you'll be creating more problems after other problems because, you know, without that job, you'll not provide for that family that you're looking for, you'll not pay your bills, and again, the stress, the mental health issue is there. You end up engaging in dangerous and risky activities, and which will lead to death and some other things there. I think you need to look for an alternative way before quitting the job you are right there. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing sentiments there. And I just want to read some of the comments before I come back to you for your closing remarks on this. So today we did not post a question, but you can just still go right ahead and give us your thoughts on this. Even after we close, because why not? We will still read it from wherever we will be. So Twist Ngororo, Asma, good morning from Mwea. Hilary Mutali anasema tuko locked na ametuonyesha evidence ya padlock with some fire emoji. Jemus Lodag asema morning with some love. Nakuru tuko ndani. Anyole wa Luanda anasema Kabete locked. Ngich KE asema good morning. Marigat Baringo tuko ndani. Hashtag one in the morning. We send you back the love. Jacinta Wanjiko anasema morning to watching from Muranga. We appreciate you. Lois Molly anasema good morning. Justine Eve, I think she's tuning in. She's having some problem. We wish you the best. Shishiro anasema tuned from G-Town. Sam Adeline anasema morning. Hashtag Westlands tuned. We are all over, guys. Savinia Kwara Savara anasema good morning. Kevo Boss Celeb anasema in from Thika Town. We appreciate you. G-Man the man. Good morning from Outer Makuyu, Muranga County. Blue Gaz anasema good morning, lock from Kamulu. Ivan Sokali's morning to watching live from Maua. We are everywhere, guys. Triple S anasema morning to locked in Nikiwa County 037. I don't know County 37 again, but we appreciate you. Carlton anasema niko ndani kama kawaida nikiwa Kendu Bay. Tuko everywhere. Charles Wetungu morning nikiwa Naivasha. I told you guys. Kamau Musenango anasema pamoja sana hapa Kagera Muiria. Kiamwangi Division Gatundu South. Hapo sawa representing. Kennedy Jumba anasema good morning. Bad Culture anasema count this man in. We have counted you in with some fire emoji. And then Kennedy Jumba also says Nicole locked. And many of you who are still sending, we appreciate you. Always the hashtag is why in the morning keep the chat going. So let me just get to you gentlemen again. Yeah, Manu, so
say that word again.
Yes, I've repeated it. So as a closing remark, how can men, what would be your advice to men?
So my advice to men, so advice from this gentleman to men. So stay positive and learn to reflect, because I believe that most people forget where they have come from. Even the people that commit suicide, the people that give up in life, you forget where you have come from. And when you reflect where you have come from, umetoka mbali, by the way. Umetoka mbali to give up right now. Umetoka mbali to throw away your entire life just by killing somebody's daughter because sijui alicheat, because some money issues, just throwing away your life for nothing. Reflect on where you have come from and where you want to be. Too many ladies, life is limitless. Possibilities are endless. Stay positive. And then to the single fathers outside there, just love your kids. God will provide a way, and don't close your doors because you so and so did you wrong. Find a mother for your kids and stay positive. Yeah, live your own life.
All right. Your social media handles?
Banning_Dollar. In the East, they call me Dollar. In the West, they call me Banning. But my name is Banning Dollar, Mr. 045, the king of Nyanza. Yeah.
We are sorry. We are sorry yet again. Well, Elias, yes. What is your closing remarks and where can people find you on socials?
Okay, my closing remarks is this: let us be positive, and I think the society is happy when men are happy and when men are working. I think if now the society can create a conducive work environment for these men outside there, the society will be happy and everyone will be happy in that society. And this femicide issue, I think it will be reduced at some percentage, because that man who killed that woman while they were together, I think he might be somewhere working. And I think if we continue pushing up for men to be accumulated, for that environment to be stable, for them to work in there, they can work under that pressure with good salary, with good mental assistance, with good, let's say, advice from the workers and from any other person in that workplace. I think that's my closing remarks.
Okay.
Thank you very much. My social media handles, Elias Ndata, all social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a student at University of Nairobi. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Elias. So that has been it. This is where we close the show. I hope you've enjoyed the conversations, both of the conversations that we have had today. Remember, you can still talk to us at Y254 channel. The hashtag remains Y in the morning. And my personal handle is at Stephanie Ayeta across all social media platforms. On behalf of the team, we appreciate you and we wish you a lovely day ahead. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.